This is the one that
I'm lost.
Well, I thought it was good. The fun part about that play in particular is, okay, Justin cuts down the first guy out of the side. Fine. The second one, good fake. And then what makes it real special is that third man on defense is just sitting there like, ah, boy.
You never think he'll do it 3 times, right? You're like, he's done it twice. He's not going to do it to me, too. Oh, no. And then it goes in, yeah. Solid play. Well, I'll give it an 8 for realsies, but
it was
his other goal was better, in my mind.
I thought it was fantastic because he puts the entire defense on ice skates and just makes them look like platinums out there. Like, that's hard to do to any team in the RLCS, and let alone exit one of the top 10. Like, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I honestly thought it was the Chiefs that was going to have a lower rate on that. Like, oh no, we have to make the Chiefs watch this.
I like Exet, but I also like good goals, you know. So.
Yeah, that is fair. Let's get to our last one here and see if it can beat that. Justin just pulled away. It reached 9.2. We fell to a 9, but at least we had a 9 here. Let's see if the entirety of SSG can do it, because we know how well they play together, and this play shows exactly why.
Underneath Squishy, Reddles will pick this up. Maybe a setup here as Sypical waits for Squishy's clear. He has Reddles down in front. He sees Arsenal in the wing. He's got Sypical back.
Passing.
Pass to Reddles. Back to Arsenal.
Oh my goodness.
Unbelievable passing from Space Station Gaming. They picked him apart.
3, 4. Let's make it 5. And then the shot comes in. That is how you pass the ball through your teammates. This is...
And I feel like that's the only way to get past that defense is to just not shoot it ever.
Justin pre-jumped
11
twice on the goal line. He pre-jumped for a save twice. That's how long he had to make saves, but they just never came. The passes just kept coming, and Justin's like, eventually they're going to shoot. So talking about fakes from him, well, the entire Space Station team faked him out twice with 2 pre-jumps. That's insane.
Yeah, chat's wrong on that. Chat's wrong.
What was that vote, Subi?
That was an 11 that turned into a smiley face, because that's what that play did to me. I waited for my wife to get home from work after that happened, and I was like, hey, so you got to see this. And she's like, what? Thinking like I'm going to short something from our Ring camera, like a bear getting into the trash. No, check out this amazing. And she was just like, okay, and? I was like, what do you mean, and? Do you know how hard that is to do?
What do you mean, and? You know what it is? Chat's like, the Justin fanboys, they're like, well, it was a good play, but it can't beat Justin's that we just gave him.
Well, it's because it was against Justin.
Yes,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's got to be a bit low. But yeah, those were some of the best plays. And if you guys have more, we would love to see them too. There were a ton of sick plays over the course of this season. So please hit us up on Twitter @RLCS, #RLCS. Show us all your favorite plays from the last season. Let's reminisce, because there's been a lot of those plays. But we do have to start looking forward here to this weekend, guys. The fun is over, and now it's all about business. Well, hopefully they're still having fun, too, because we have a lot of good games on the line here. Let's talk first off about what they're fighting for. Of course, $100,000 on the line here. Subi, this is a lot of money, right, to for first place, $36,000. Yes, please.
Yeah. Can I sub for someone and get first place? Hey, Envy, can I play for you guys?
Well, then they'll get $3,000.
Yeah, good. No, they would get lower than that. They would get disqualified. But it's insane, the amount of money in this. And just, honestly, I think you could lower it by 1/10, and the players would still play as hard, because these guys just love this game that much.
Mm-hmm. That's for sure. And of course, some points there too. We'll dive into a little bit more what's on the line for these points in a bit here. But let's take a look at the teams. This is best of 5s. Top 4 make it through. Number 5 is eliminated. And there is a team maybe you could sub in for, because for SSG here over in that group of death, Reddles is disqualified for today from playing for out-of-game contact following Regional 3. So Sathu stepping in. So if you want to rock, paper, scissors him, Subi, you might have an opportunity to step in for day one.
No, he's one of my favorite rival series vets. He's always been top tier, and I'm excited to see him get his chance this weekend.
I'm excited and also scared, because look at that group. Energy, G2, FaZe, and V1. Well, even if Space Station was at their best, you could see them having a bad day and falling out of that group. So that's going to be very difficult.
They're in the rough group for sure, and now is not the good day to lose one of your starters. But that being said, I think Sathu should actually slot into a very similar role on Space Station, because you've already got Arsenal off the ball, so aggressive, able to open up space, and Sypical has been so solid in that third-man role. Sathu can just come in there and fill the gaps, kind of like Reynolds did. I think they might be
He said in his interview that Reynolds is like, we have to play the best when I play at my best, because the whole game plan was giving the ball to him, making plays happen. Now they have to change that. They've obviously had like a month to prepare for this, so we'll see what they bring.
Yeah. I feel like, just to speak to what Achieves was saying, like you're changing Reynolds from 1, Arsenal 2, Typical 3, and you're shifting everyone up. So now Arsenal's 1, Typical's 2, and now you've got Sathu at 3. So I think it's a completely different dynamic for SSG, but kind of to your point, yes, you still have some of the best players in the world in Arsenal and Typical on your team. So hopefully they can carry them through.
Just before we move on here, I just want to quickly ask Achieves, how do you feel about XS chance over in the other group there?
Dude, that whole Group A, I actually love Group A because you obviously have your 2 all-stars that you expect to be good, Envy and Rogue, obviously. But Rebellion, Sonics, Xset, that's upset city.
Yeah.
And Xset in particular, they're not really playing for much. They can't make the championship, but they do get the opportunity to play massive spoiler here.
Yeah.
And that's always a lot of fun.
Well, speaking of making championship, let's talk about that because it's time to dive in. There are 3 teams now left fighting for those 2 spots. Gibbs, if you want to break it down, what's going on here as we dive into the final major here?
We're talking about championships? Is that what we're talking about? All right, we got G2 FaZe and Shopify Rebellion. 3 teams battling for 2 spots. Top 6 make it to the championship. And look at these point totals. They're within 120 points of one another, which means that's within 1 place in this tournament, no matter how it falls. So Shopify Rebellion, they're in the bad spot right now, because if all 3 teams tie, G2 FaZe and them, they're out. They have to beat one of those teams in one of those places, so you either have to go for a quarterfinal finish, and one of those teams, they don't make it out of groups, which might be more unlikely, or you have to hope for some other cases here. But G2 and FaZe, they just got to match them. Got to match Rebellion, and they will be okay. So it comes down to 3 teams battling for 2 spots after 9 months of play. It can't get any closer.
Wow. Okay. I want to, before we move on here, I want to ask you guys then, who's it going to be? If there's 2, who doesn't make that spot there? Who are the 2 teams?
You know, I think G2 actually might get kicked out because they're in the tougher group. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like that being said, you know, FaZe is also right there, so it's kind of a coin flip. But that Group B is the wrong group to be in when you're in within 100 points of getting knocked
But
out.
I feel like FaZe is like, if they come in last in that group, which I think is possible, because I think Space Station could like at least win 1 match, maybe 2. And if that happens, I think FaZe could be that team out. Like obviously them in version 1 would compete for that spot. It's going to be tough.
Subi's like, I just said, we can just leave it alone if you want.
I'm gonna say who
Please.
1 team will go through, and I'm gonna say it's gonna be Rebellion. G2 and FaZe is
so
a
they're going to
toss-up.
bounce up. Okay.
Well, they're not in the pit of despair in Group B. Like that sucks being there. So I don't even want to touch that.
Okay, well, let's keep it a little bit championship minded here. Obviously, regions are only going to play themselves, but we do like to have that discussion of what happens if they play across. And last week and the European pre-show, they got to do it. So why don't we get to do it too? Let's take a look at that same first round seeding that they had in their bracket, and let's try to make some predictions here, because I think they were a little bit off. You know, I don't know if it's just my NA bias here, but like I think they were a little bit off. Let's go through these. We're going to work together like they did and see if our bracket matches up here. I want to go down the line. So let's start off with Subi. You get that Team BDS Rogue. Let us know who's taking that one if it goes. I mean, it's fairly straightforward.
Oh,
but,
man.
you know, what would it be?
This is the hardest one in this bracket. How am I going to justify picking the best team in the world with the best player on the world going through? Oh, man, it's tough. I think Team BDS and the best player in the world of Monkey Moon is going to go ahead and easily go, I'm going to say 4-0 over Rogue.
Okay.
I know we're not doing score lines, but I
think I definitely probably get the easy one here. I think you got to pick Envy. Top looks, definitely a formidable squad, but Envy too consistent, I think.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right.
Okay.
Well, we're going to talk about NA bias, obviously, but I'm more about the Twitter bias. And the week before the match of Space Station Vitality is going to be brutal to watch on Twitter with Reynolds just chirping the entire time. So I want to make sure that I can still have Twitter installed afterwards. So I'm going to give it to Vitality to take down Space Station Gaming, because Reynolds probably won't tweet for a month, and that's probably better off for everyone. So I'm going to go Vitality.
Okay, so that's our first switch up, I think, from the European bracket, from theirs there now, because I think they had the SSG moving through.
Which quarterfinal did you have last time, Leaf?
Well, Leaf wasn't on it because it was.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah,
Shogun was. Okay. Well, I guess you get to pick then.
I do, and they had Guild going through. I don't.
No.
NRG, baby.
All
They push
right.
through. NRG, when it comes down to the
2 and
wire,
2.
Guild's looking good. I got to give it to them. But NRG is, I'm standing behind them full out. There's no way I'm not. And I want chat to like me. So NRG takes that. And I think we'll team up here for the semis. I'll team up with Gibbs, and we're going to take the ones you guys just put. We'll go with BDS and Envy. Mostly just because that's, in my opinion, the easy one. So I want to do that. I'm going BDS, Gibbs.
Yeah, I'm going BDS too. It's the 2 number ones, I would say, right now in both the regions, but BDS is just so consistent. You have to pick BDS.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be NA biased bracket, but I can't when there's Team BDS there. I just can't do it.
Okay. Subi achieves Vitality and NRG.
You know, I think this one's also pretty easy, actually.
I do too.
I'm leaning NRG.
Are we? Yes, we're leaning the same way. All right, baby. Yeah, no, I think Team Vitality's been kind of slumping lately, and I don't think they've got what it takes to take down NRG. This isn't 2018 anymore.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
Now we got the final one. Let's
way to
work
put
this
it.
together, guys. Do you want to yell it out together?
Yeah, sure.
All right,
Yeah.
in 3,
It's 3 letters.
2, 1. BDS.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. So even the NA casters think BDS and a European team will win it. So sorry, North American fans, but too
You're
bad.
too good.
I want NRG to be there, but I just think BDS is too good right now.
They're too consistent.
Yeah.
They punish you so much on every single mistake, and they don't make mistakes.
Well, there you have it. We'll see, how the other Europeans feel about that one, fill out bracket. We'll see. I'm sure they'll have some words for it. But let's talk about these groups real quick. Get a quick prediction out of this. We want to know. I want to pick who's getting knocked out. Let's go through it right down the line real quick. Out of both these groups, Subi, Group A and B, who gets knocked out?
Oh, this is a tough one. I'm gonna go with. Let's go with. I'm sorry, Axet. I love you guys, but I don't think you're making it through.
Real hard.
I know. And then this is oh my goodness. You know what?
What is it?
Time. Come on.
SSG.
SSG.
cut 'em.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Chiefs.
I think actually Sonic's the ones to get bounced out here. I think Rebellion's been playing well, and I always love my exit pick. I think they've been leveling up slowly but surely. Group B, I think probably FaZe might get bounced out. I don't want it to be
Whoa.
true. I
Okay.
don't want it to be true, but
Gibbs?
Me and Chiefs agree completely. The Sonic
Wow.
and FaZe Clan, they've had 9 matches against Group B for spring. They've only won 2 of them, the worst in their group. I think FaZe gets bounced out.
Well, no one cares about my opinion, so I'm going to skip that and talk about the schedule coming up here. Reminder, guys, we have multiple broadcasts going on over on UGC and the Rocket RB. Make sure to have those open, or just click the Watch in Squad Mode button to catch all the Rocket League as possible. Lots of group stage matches, but here's the ones you'll see here on twitch.tv/Rocket League. You see that first one there? Let's start talking about it. NRG versus FaZe Clan. We have a couple analysts here thinking that FaZe Clan is going to be that team not making it through here. Well, this will be the first test to see if they're in a state to get themselves through to tomorrow into that single elim championship Sunday bracket. This is a tough one. Up first here, Subi, I don't think you had FaZe out on this one here. What's FaZe got to do?
They got to play perfect Rocket League and hope that NRG is in one of those weird slumps where they don't show up till game 4. Like, that's the only way. It's gonna be tough.
to be fair, NRG could be in one of those. As we mentioned at the top of the show, there are some questions about how NRG is feeling in terms of motivation and everything. So it could be possible, but when it's 8-1 in favor of NRG overall, it's pretty tough to pick against them.
Chat, I need your help now. It's time for the Verizon fan vote. You guys know what to do. Hashtags in the chat right now. NRG or FaZe? Is FaZe going to be able to step up and take down NRG? It'll be a tough battle for sure, but we want to know what you guys are thinking. So get them in right now so they're counted. While you're doing that, let's quickly get a prediction here off the bat. Let's figure it out. I know it's not some people think FaZe isn't going to be able to step it up in the group overall. So let's see if they even get a dub here on NRG. Starting with Gibbs, let's go down the line real quick.
Well, I'm going to answer for all 4 of us. I think we can just throw it down. NRG for all 4 of us. I don't think anyone has any objections to that.
True.
No?
I think we're good.
Leaf
So
was
NRG
considering.
will beat FaZe.
No, I wasn't considering. I'm like, no.
Oh
no,
my
there's no way.
God.
88% in favor of NRG. FaZe. F in the chat
FaZe
for
is
FaZe
good. I
right
was
now.
expecting, at least maybe 75-25. Like,
Okay, well,
It's energy.
they're good.
Yeah.
Well, get on Twitter. Let us know your thoughts. If you're a FaZe Clan fan, you need to get out there at RL Esports, hashtag RLCS. FaZe Clan is still in the running here for one of those 2 spots available for the championships here in North America. And to talk about their opportunities, Gyro gave us some words.
Playing under FaZe for the last few regionals has been, at least for me, it's made me feel like I need to perform better to impress the org, and I think the issue is that sometimes maybe we fall under the pressure of being under such a prestigious org, but in the end of the day, we're players and we have to be used to the pressure, and I think having such a big org backing us has helped us motivate us and up our game to the next level.
You in the air, watch this, watch this! No way, he breaks through the defense, it's an easy cleanup from Gyro!
Honestly, what my team and I are working on to secure the top 6 spot is to just keep playing the game and stay as consistent as possible, because that's been our issue for the most part. And we've been working a lot on comms so we don't double commit as much. I think we should be able to get top 6, but it'll be a hard one.
Touch, AJ gets the shot, and just like that, FaZe Clan goes from 0 shots to 1 goal.
I guess I'd like to match up against SSG. I like playing against them, it's pretty fun. And probably against Rebellion to show people that we are actually better than them.
Consider, and it overtime only gets worse. Illusion gonna make us go to an extra 5 minutes. It doesn't take long.
Our toughest opponent is probably just the top 4, honestly. But the team that we've struggled most against in the top 4 would probably just be NRG. Our goals for this major is to maintain top 6 in the points leaderboards. So as long as we get top 4 or just place better than Rebellion or G2, we'd be pretty happy with our placing.
FaZe again. Oh, Gyro! Welcome to Slam Diego! Gyro, the best play of the day!
So a brilliant interview there with Gyro from FaZe Clan, but as you can probably tell, the pressure is on them. Stumpy, how are you feeling going into this one with them against NRG?
I'm feeling like there's a lot on the line right now for FaZe. Gyro was saying that they feel under pressure, not from their org, but because their org is so great and so prestigious that they need to have the results to back up the name of FaZe representing them. They want to give it their all, and versus NRG, it's going to be rough. They said that they were happy to play Space Station, but unfortunate for them, that's not their first matchup. They are going to be taking on NRG, the team that they said they would probably like to avoid the most. But in NRG, Cole, I think it was Achieves who mentioned there are those issues of motivation, but you just know when Justin uses vowels, he can pull off these kind of plays.
It's the vowels on the full stop, and he's put a full stop there to FaZe Clan's defense. Look at 2 of them flinging by. Just a perfect air dribble to get us going, and Justin is one of those rare talents. Even when he is playing badly, he can win games single-handedly.
Yeah, incredible talent. It's so great that we can see him playing at this level at the moment too, where he said that he won't be competing in the upcoming countries versus countries matches together. So Garrett's had to find different teammates. Of course, Squishy being a Canadian fella as well doesn't help out that side either. But NRG off the best start they could have had. With an inspired Justin, FaZe's job just got a lot harder.
Yeah, if this guy plays well, it does get infinitely more difficult for FaZe Clan to get a win here. And getting wins is exactly what they need to do to make those North American championships. It is so close between them, Shopify Rebellion, and G2. And a win against NRG here would really start to make a statement that they are coming into some form again, the form that it looked like they would have when FaZe first joined, and they were just winning everything midway through that regional. So that's the way we want to see FaZe Clan play. So far, it's been made tricky, but I don't think they've done too much wrong up to this point. It is just Justin's moment of genius that separates the teams.
Yeah, some great moments of class from both sides too, like you said. It has now started to turn into a bit of NRG pressure, and with Garrett being able to follow under the ball that precisely, the man on the backboard has to secure this hit.
Oh, it's genius as well. I didn't realize Garrett had come from the side himself. There was a slight miss there from the read on the backboard, but Garrett has to follow up, has to anticipate the 1 time out of 20 that players at this level will miss that backboard read, and he's there for it. I always love a poacher's goal, Stumpy.
Yeah, I did say about what at the start as well. It was actually from inside the goal, so a touch harder. But Garrett is going to punish again. 3 goals, 3 minutes 30 seconds. And that is just such a soft looping touch. Technically fine going to the corner, but Garrett's already rotating there, and AJ also committed to that save. With the double commit, that placement isn't good enough. You need the power to get it past Garrett too. Otherwise, slotting it under the crossbar, that is going to be NRG's bread and butter going forwards. It's 3-0 already, and FaZe are going to start to be worried.
I said I loved Garrett's goal when he got the second one, his first one. The third one I like even more, just sniffing around. But Gyro scored an important goal back for FaZe. Even at this very early stage in this game, they certainly needed that.
It was Squishy right at the back being harassed by AJ too. Managed to clear him away from that goal line. Squishy thought, well, while I'm in this corner, I'll grab the boost. But that gave Gyro enough of an opening to tap the ball at the net. And in the end, does see FaZe Clan getting one back. And maybe just the start of them not being quite out of game one as we were certainly feeling like it would be.
It's a very important mental reset, if nothing else. Now with 3 minutes left and a couple of goals needed, it's not something you've got to particularly chase at this point. If they're still chasing 2 in a minute or so, that might just begin to change. But they can relax somewhat, but not for too long, because NRG are going to come forward again with Garrett beating AJ to the ball there and then trying to step on it when Gyro's coming forward. It was Gyro who got that first goal. Might have an assist here as well. Evolution coming in, but Garrett G does get the block in.
We approach halftime in this game, and suddenly FaZe Clan are starting to put that pressure on that right wall. Garrett finds the ball, but with low boost, he's going to have to offload it to a teammate. Instead, goes for that save 50 and then rotates out. But Gyro can see AJ in the midfield, who finds that top corner, and FaZe, with the continued pressure applied to NRG's backline, will see their second one.
Rocket League just changes so quickly. One great goal from Gyro, and then the infield pass from him towards AJ. All of a sudden, there's 1 goal in it, and you can't split these 2 teams. So absolutely credit to FaZe Clan. It was looking like they were going to crumble. I would say as well that Garrett, after scoring those 2 goals, Squishy's coming in to help out Justin, was just starting to seem like he was finding it all a little bit too easy. He was taking 1 touch too many in the center. He's now been punished twice, so perhaps NRG are going to just slow down and play it a bit more simply for a couple of minutes or so.
Yeah, I think it was certainly that air of complacency where they thought, oh, this is easier than we thought. Finally in the bag, Squishy can fake out going for that shot, where Garrett sunk one in earlier on, finds Justin instead, lurking midfield.
I love that touch from Squishy. I'm loving so much about what I'm seeing right now. It's fast-paced. It's fun. The defending isn't as good as we've ever seen. I think that's fair to say, but the goals are flooding in, and I, for one, will be more than happy if this series continues in this direction. But kickoffs seem to be a real weakness for both teams, really. NRG have scored a few from them, and already from this one, have a chance to score their 5th goal of the game so far. FaZe just have to worry to concentrate a little bit more in those opening plays.
That was a lot of touches from Garrett G as well. Relatively uncontested, because I think FaZe thought he was going to go back surely at some point, but he kept on harassing, and it meant that another 20 seconds or so fell in that back line for FaZe Clan. AJ, can he get a shot low? Oh. Gyro goes for a bump on the back. Sorry, it was Illusion for the bump on the back. But Squishy can hand it off to Garrett, sends it back to Squishy. The open net to score on. The 5th goal for NRG coming in, and now it's Justin and Garrett both trying to find the hat-trick each.
I actually thought that Squishy's pass towards Garrett in the first place was a little bit too heavy, and I guess it was, because Garrett had to get an assist instead of the shot that I'm sure he was moving forward to get. I'm not quite sure why FaZe are overcommitting too much when they only need 2, or needed, should I say, 2 goals in a minute and 30 seconds or so. It could show their desperation to get themselves into this series as quickly as they possibly can do. It's backfired on them on that occasion, but good to know they're not falling behind too much mentally right now. Just need to be careful, as I say, they're not overcommitting, because they're going to be punished. Yeah, now it's starting to look like they are really overcommitting, but now it's fair enough. You know, you need 3 goals in 55 seconds or so.
This game has essentially ended, but there's always still that very, very small chance that 1 goal could change the tide. I don't see it happening, but you still need to play to the whistle. You need to continue pushing as much as you possibly can, but with 40 seconds left, then FaZe Clan are just going to need to look forward to the next game. If they can get a couple of goals, that'd be good for confidence. Otherwise, it was NRG starting to have the pressure applied back to them and not enjoying the taste of their own medicine. Squishy can slow it down, goes for that pass instead. Will he give Garrett a hat-trick? No, Garrett can't quite sink it in. Still no hat-tricks found yet for either member of NRG.
Yeah, Squishy had no boost, so all he could do was get a very awkward touch at the top of his Octane. There is still time for one of these hat tricks to come out. Squishy is definitely going to set his teammates up for the one that they clearly won, but not going to happen, it would seem like, in this first game. I don't think NRG will mind all that much, although can Squishy get a massive flick. Oh, he's going for an edgeable bump. Go on! Ah, that's a shame. 5-2 it finishes.
It's the confidence as well. Look at those left-hand cameras. So Garrett's having a bit of a giggle. Justin's turned the lights on for us, so we really appreciate that, Justin. Thank you. That's very kind. And then Squishy as well. Those guys looking confident, looking comfortable. But on the side of FaZe Clan, they started off that game not particularly well. They didn't look confident coming into it. They're being outsped to the ball. Their pacing was a lot slower. And then they started to grow in a bit more, where there was a bump coming in the backfield, and NRG weren't sure how to deal with that.
Sorry, mate. One of us is going to have to change. We're wearing the same shirt. I've just realised.
What animal is on your shirt, out of interest?
It's not. It's like a little red and white square next to each other.
Oh, so mine's zebras.
Have you got zebras?
Yeah, mine are zebras. Can you not see that they were zebras?
No, I'll have a look on these highlights then. Here's Squishy. He gets a pass to Justin.
That is
There we go.
Right, zebra.
Right,
Yeah. Mine are little zebras.
Oh, yeah, that's really sweet. I've just got little red and white squares.
Okay, maybe you need to change. Take that off, but then button up your jacket a bit more, please.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, okay, so not quite enough there from FaZe Clan to beat NRG. They had moments. Gyro's playing pretty well, but other than that, it's NRG swamping FaZe right now.
It's also FaZe Clan trying to turn the statistical tide, as it were, because in the last 9 times these guys have faced each other, it has been 8 wins for NRG and then 1 single win for FaZe Clan, back when they were the peeps in fall. It has been such a long time since they've been able to give anything over towards NRG, but starting off game number 2, they are going to want to try and win this series out.
They needed a good start. It has to happen. They have to build some momentum at some point, and the earlier it happens, the better. You can see Justin there. He was behind the goal, but just a little bit too far back to get that one away. So close to it happening. But again, it looks like we're seeing the continuation of these goals flying in from kickoffs.
I mean, looking at earlier on as well, where I said about the stats, it's not even like they've just struggled to shut out that final game where they've always gone to a 4-3 or a 3-2 if it's a best of 5 like we're seeing here today. It has always been only going to either 1 game or 0 games for FaZe Clan. It has otherwise been a sweep or a single win for the side of NRG. So FaZe Clan really need to try and change up how they approach this particular enemy. But I like that Jara earlier was very realistic, where he was saying that we don't like playing NRG. Like, they're really hard to play against. They're not our favoured team.
You can see why, really. It's the defense that FaZe Clan produce. They want to defend on the front foot and turn sieges like this into chances to counter-attack. But against NRG, they seem to read it so easily. The boost starvation happens, and then there's that final pass again.
Squishy utterly unchallenged in the corner too. Illusion started to move forwards, but by that point, Squishy had already waited for the second bounce to come in so we can half volley it central for Justin to score. I'd like to see Illusion or any of these players just tackle a little bit sooner. Right now, NRG have so much space just to try and play with whatever play they want to go for, that they aren't being rushed, they aren't panicking. And if you're not showing that you can challenge as much as you possibly can, then that space is going to be absolutely abused.
Yeah, I mean, just in this play right here as Justin scores yet again, look how many uncontested touches NRG have. There's one. There's the second for Justin. Gyro's nowhere near him. But there was another 1 or 2 before that as well, before the replay started. It's no surprise at all that NRG are scoring so many goals here. They just seem faster than FaZe as well, frankly.
And that's something that FaZe definitely focus on, because it's something that I think that a lot of these players will know that they need to be a little bit quicker. And that was great. That was a really lovely inception. Gyro now having that the wherewithal to try and challenge as soon as he possibly can. Can we see FaZe, though, work their way back from going ahead right at the start of this game to then coming back and actually putting in a bigger impact than they had previously and in historical seasons?
Putting as much fire on the NRG goal seems to be the way forward for FaZe Clan here. You can see that when they do take these snapshots, NRG can just begin to struggle. Well, that touch from Justin was a really nice one down for Squishy to get a decent clear, but they're a little bit shaken around NRG. The double commit there is going to allow Illusion to come in and almost tee up Gyro, but there was an intercepting touch there from an NRG player. Just a little bit better from FaZe Clan and signs of how they're maybe going to go forward in this series.
Well, 2 minutes have elapsed, and still those 3 goals that we have seen so far, 2 for NRG, One sitting on the side of FaZe Clan. Good challenges coming in, though, in that back line. AJ bumping Garrett off the ball, leaves it full to Gyro. Can air dribble it only as far as Squishy. Interrupted by Illusion as it attempts to escape that blue back third. But Gyro with the catch will force a close 50. Must Squish out of the way, but AJ did not have any idea of what that play was. He started to turn away, but Illusion with an air dribble in can take it so gently over the top of every single NRG defender.
He has just caressed that over the top of Squishy and Garrett. Little tap, see you later, Garrett. I'm placing this one home. And I was fearing for FaZe before that goal there from Illusion because their third man plays so far forward. One decent touch or an awkward 50-50 from NRG and FaZe would have been in trouble. But they believe in their mechanics. And in that instance, it's worked. But they have to defend again now from the kick-up again. Could they throw it away? Garrett's going to miss. I thought he was about to score. But NRG remain at 2-2.
Another shot, though, for Squishy will be cleared away easily for Gyro, but with no boost. He's going to struggle to get this too far downfield as he flicks off the back of his guy. Can tap it nearly around Garrett G, who instead maintains that control. Faces off against Illusion, who absolutely rockets his way in to that back line. And I love that aggression.
Justin gets half a touch, but it's only as far as Gyro. AJ's probably going to turn as soon as he gets that boost. Yes, he does, but the ball was a little bit central for him. Still gets a good touch towards the goal. And FaZe Clan really asking the questions right now of NRG. NRG needs to rely on their mechanics to bring this one away. As FaZe continue to apply this pressure. Here's AJ up against Squishy. Who wins the 50-50? It's Squishy. He then takes it towards the center. Wants to go solo again. NRG firmly believe that if they can get over the top of FaZe, they'll be able to put their opponents in trouble all over again. Minute and a half left. We're equal.
That is a fantastic touch from Gyro. Leaves it to fall to AJ. He'll take the snapshot, but Garrett can save it away. And suddenly the ball falls back to NRG. Off the crossbar again from Garrett. And his shooting started off so incredible earlier on, but that's now 2 chances that have gone wide of the net. And when it's equal, let alone when FaZe managed to get the lead, you need to be scoring them.
Brilliant here. Look at this. In front of the ball play there from Illusion, just seeking out Garrett. Search and destroy. Gyro's attempted pass or shot ends up being a shot, and FaZe have their lead. It's been a very hard fought one.
It's fantastic when you have a look at the little player cams and you see Gyro smiling at his team. It's so good to see. AJ trying to go for that amazing double tap. Can't quite manage it, though. But yeah, Gyro's looking positive. He's looking very confident because this is a lead in a game that they don't normally get versus this particular roster.
Yeah, he'll be able to tell that his team are definitely coming into this one. AJ is also just continuing to put pressure upon NRG as well. With these solo plays, they haven't really come to anything with regards to scoring goals just yet. But every time he goes to the ceiling or tries one of these dunks in the air, it's just making NRG waste some boost. It's making them question themselves, slowing the game down in FaZe's favor. Maybe starting to frustrate them a little bit with 30 seconds left. FaZe could kill it here. AJ bundles it in.
Taking the 1v1 against Squishy. AJ has come out the victor. Look at that. Just that little boost grab in the middle means that he can take it slower. Fakes out the shot to the right. Means that Squishy has already got that momentum. And what AJ has to do there is remove that momentum from him. Does so by faking to the right. Squishy keeps going. And then the touch never comes in. Great touch back behind him. AJ looking very, very confident in this series. With a 2-goal lead now for FaZe Clan. This game will be done and the series will sit at 1-1.
It is looking very good for them indeed. Unless this absolutely flies in from a pinch. And what's happened, Stumpy?
Oh, it's a goal again for Justin. It was a great pass as well from Squishy too. But how's that one snuck past the back defender?
It's a very odd goal. And that is finally a hat-trick for Justin. Took him 2 games to get it. And we have got 9 seconds. Absolutely no time for NRG to score a kickoff goal. But they have scored plenty. They've lost that one, though, because AJ clears it long. Garrett's going to keep it high. Garrett's coming in uncontested, so Squishy just awaits below. Garrett got itchy, got in the way. And then a great double tap there from AJ, I think it was, to end it. And that is FaZe Clan winning game 2.
And that was them looking much more confident than game 1. You see at the bottom of the table, NRG's Garrett with just under 200 points because he could have done so much more in that game where he had, I think, 2 of his 4 shots, 50% of them, either hit the post or hit the crossbar. And they were great chances too. They weren't that a player would have been there otherwise to save it and it just so happened that it registered as a shot. They were chances that he should be getting at minimum on target. NRG could be 2-0 up in this series, but FaZe Clan played a better game than they did in that first one, and meant that NRG couldn't just play around them at all.
They also had the read a lot more on NRG in defense than they did at any point throughout the first game as well, did FaZe Clan. Before, and there were periods in that game as well, where NRG were passing it around FaZe Clan, like they weren't there. The second goal, I think it was, that they got, where they got so many uncontested touches, you were struggling to find a way for FaZe Clan to come in. But the read that they learned to block NRG's passing plays at source and to meet them in the air rather than try to defend it on the backboard, etc. That's what really put the pressure upon NRG, I feel. And once FaZe felt that they'd put pressure on NRG, they did so well to take their chances when they had them.
And now it's a chance for FaZe Clan to take the lead in this series too. Both teams sitting out 1-1, and if FaZe Clan can do it, they've done something that even if they lose this series, they have not done since they beat NRG back in fall. They will at least go to the series point. They normally get swept or get a single game. 2 would be huge for them, but NRG are wanting to continue their dominant trend against an otherwise great team in North America.
Oh, that's almost in from Squishy. He's hit the post. I was going to say as well that in a group that should be this close, with V1 in here, G2 in here, Space Station in here, every game is going to matter. It may well come down to game differential.
Yeah.
So even if they can get a couple against NRG and then lose the series, and of course from this point they'll want more than that, but if that is what happens, it's not a total disaster if the target is survival.
Yeah, we definitely want to see a lot of these teams in this group just play as close to the whistle as they possibly can, because you're completely right. The game differential can make or break not only the chances for just winning the top prize, nearly that musty flick from Gyro finding its way in, is that it doesn't only change the top prize potentially for this particular major, it could change who makes it through to the championships.
Well, worryingly for FaZe Clan, Garrett G is back in the goals. Didn't get one in game 2, but here he is now, just waiting for another miss from Illusion. Every time FaZe miss anything in defense, they're being punished.
It's frequently the ball that falls above the goal line too, where we saw earlier on in the series, AJ missing, I think it was the first shot that NRG managed to have in game number 1. He just missed it off going vertically from his own goal line, and then there was just a player there to actually sit, wait, and then score it. If they keep doing that, then NRG, they're not going to do anything different. They don't need to outplay mechanically. They don't need to be incredible. They just need to be practical and completely capitalize off the errors that we see FaZe Clan repeatedly making.
They seem to have realized it as well, NRG focusing a lot more on boomable than they were before. In game 2 especially, it was solo plays that were working so well for them at the start. And now they're just launching everything long. Just trying to make this defense from FaZe feel as uncomfortable as they can possibly make them. It's so far been a winning tactic.
Okay.
What have you seen?
This is Gyro just being weird. As he caught the ball, he then went for like an upside down breezy flick. Oh,
That's
but
why.
those mechanics, it was weird on the first dribble, but on that double tap, that is spectacular.
Yeah, the weirdness was out of system. And there it is, just smashing it down, slamming it. You got to go at full pace nowadays to get the double tap. And Gyro is more than capable of doing that. So FaZe, I would say against the run of play, I think NRG have been a lot better in the third game, but they do manage to equal things up.
The chance in the back line for Illusion to find a teammate does so. We'll find AJ now this left wall. We'll see him attacking central. Garrett G shadowing closely, but allows him in. Justin will take over to defend, and so Garrett can move in a little bit further. Comes back to that final third for FaZe Clan. Gyro with 40 boost. Can he get this high in central? Gets one, gets the second. And with that early pre-flip and the second touch in the air, the defense was left waiting.
A stunning performance from Gyro already in this third game. I love that when it's all to do with that final touch, when the defense feel they've got the read on the ball, but somehow with the last reach forward of the car, the ball flattens out because they get it. Just a beautiful sight to behold there from Gyro.
Yeah, so those final pixels that will just make the difference. And it looks so orchestrated every time. Like he knew that was going to perfectly touch the ball over the defender too. Beautiful goal, Gyro putting FaZe Clan ahead.
Lucian launches that one. Just buying his team some time and space. But Garrett G almost beats AJ there. Lucian into the center actually wants to get another quick fire goal. Why not? His team have already got a couple. Gyro's coming forward now, already on this great run of form in this one, but he's taken out the game by Garrett G. Now Justin's got something to chase. He gets the first touch, wanted the ceiling pinch, I think, but couldn't quite get it. Now let's AJ set up Gyro for a touch against the backboard. The Squishy clears it long, and we're down to some ping pong now.
Yeah, we're going into a mode that me and Cole are very familiar with in EU. It's a bit of boomer ball, which is what we love. But thank you guys for making us feel at home. Good target, so a good shot on target from Squishy there, but Illusion with the save, and then the counter attack. Can AJ make anything come of this play? Goes to the ceiling, but Squishy is up high again. And FaZe Clan are coming in to shut down NRG as often as they possibly can here too. To waste a couple of seconds and to mean that NRG can't work their way out of their half means that this 2-1 may well be enough, but a long shot has Gyro respawning for the save.
I was about to praise Garrett G for his demo on Gyro. I really thought it stopped a FaZe attack in its tracks, and it did. But unfortunately for Garrett, unfortunately for FaZe, it did mean he spawned back on it, but the attack continues. Justin hitting the crossbar. Is Garrett arriving? He is. Somehow, he gets it past all of them.
Garrett with a surprising 1v3. Justin maybe should have scored that, but Garrett rotates out round Wade, sees AJ just flop off the inside of the goal, and he can just shoot it quite cleanly. AJ, I think, thought that Garrett was going to go for the snapshot, was faked out, and then Garrett accidentally faked all of FaZe Clan.
Yeah, I think he was retreating backwards. He thought, okay, if you guys don't want this ball, I'm just going to spin around and smash it in if that's okay with you guys.
It's very polite of FaZe Clan to do so.
Well, now they've got a minute to hold off because NRG are going to come forward again. Just into the ceiling. Worked out last time. Squishy up against Gyro, and Garrett is just waiting, hovering underneath. He does opt instead to rotate backwards. NRG via Garrett are going to have to start again here. This one could go either way.
45 seconds remain in this match, and NRG do have that possession, but Gyro will catch out. AJ, though, bumping Squishy away from the goal. Leads to an opening for FaZe to push, but Justin catching it. A little bit of interference run from Garrett. Justin going for another air dribble. Up for one. That high angle shot from the side was going in.
What a save that was from AJ, though. Respected his opponent so much to know that Justin would have had that read. More defending to do now. Garrett has faked them once, trying to do it again. In the air this time when his fake before was on the floor. Didn't quite work out. Now NRG have got some defending. Illusion to the backboard. Wants to wrap around and put it across the goal, but can't do it. It looks like we're heading to our first overtime of this series.
Final chance, though, for FaZe to try and take it to the NRG net. In that back corner, Justin will catch. He wants the overtime. NRG are very, very good when it comes down to the wire. At 2-2, though, this will see one of the teams really make a big mark on the series.
I was worried for FaZe for the kickoff there. They've conceded so many kickoff goals, but that one while going pretty high and dangerous. It was FaZe that won out, but now NRG comes. Squishy towards the backboard. It was actually a shot to the corner, which AJ put high. AJ now is on the backboard himself. Justin arriving, puts it into the middle. Illusion. Oh, he was so close to misjudging that, and you just know that NRG would have read it.
Yeah, they were waiting. That was Justin trying to find Squishy again in the back. 75 boost. Garrett trying to push it now. Squishy with the catch. With only one booster, he has to pump it high and then leave. I'm sure he wants to go for a solo play there as his team were rotating back out. Garrett trying to ping past his central. I'm sure that will finally come off. The double demo now sees only Gyro to defend. Illusion with a fantastic spawn into. But look at NRG's undying pressure here.
Gyro did so well there. He was running out of teammates until he found himself all alone and still withheld all 3 NRG members for the few seconds that his team needed him to do it for. And now Illusion, he's still going. AJ can finish it here, but it's saved, blocked down by Squishy. Garrett's first touch is a little bit awkward, so Gyro can get a little bit of a touch towards Illusion, and Justin's backwards, so NRG a tad disjointed in defense right now. Just need that clean touch to get it away. Finally, they have it, and Garrett G can dribble.
There's only 30 booster. He has to send it high, and oh my god, he does so. Catches it perfectly. AJ is able to catch it, however. And Justin with an amazing 50 finds the ball falling directly to his wheels. With this pressure, though, forming again for NRG. The long shot attempt from AJ. Has Squishy then fly up to try and match it again, and does so. So many pre-jumps and reads from NRG, and the passes are being caught out this time from FaZe. Such a far cry from how well NRG were running circles around FaZe to begin with in game number 1.
Gyro passes to himself in the corner. Illusion's arriving. Illusion shoots, and Squishy has to be there to help out his teammate. Then goes for a pinch in the air. Been watching Mark by 8 maybe. In the last major, that massive pinch that went in halfway up the wall. Not quite able to do it, and it was closed down quickly by FaZe. AJ's going for an edge. All of a sudden with a flip reset at the end, and then a dunk, maybe. Squishy blocks.
AJ is looking for an absolute worldie, where that would have been just so many things tied together. Gyro now going to try and show him how it's done. The flip reset finds the pass. AJ with that bottom right corner has Gyro elated. With 2.5 minutes gone in overtime, it came down to a passing play.
Smart finish as well from AJ. It looks simple, but he did have 2 NRG players to get it past and just picked his spot, rolled it home, did everything that was needed, and FaZe Clan are now on the cusp of what could be a massive win in their entire season.
I believe this will then be their 2nd win ever versus NRG.
What a time to get it.
Yeah, incredible time to get it. Yeah, this will be their 2nd win for at least a very, very long time for NRG. And it's an exciting moment as well, because it's now going to all come down to FaZe Clan, formerly the Peeps when they got beaten repeatedly by NRG, working their way into a mindset where they now cannot throw it. They've got the pressure on them from their org of the prestige. Gyro said about it in the pre-match interview, as well as the team that they're against. This is a recipe for disaster for FaZe Clan, and what a statement it would be if they managed to win.
Yeah, and how much does it worry G2 and Shopify Rebellion as well? FaZe Clan are peaking at the perfect time, potentially, but they still have to get over the finish line. FaZe Clan have not managed to do that just yet, and we all know how good NRG can be in the clutch. This is the team that's come back in situations like this time and time again. 2 games in a row for them, absolutely nothing. So FaZe have still got so much more work to do.
What's good, though, in theory, is that now they've built themselves that buffer game, where if they do lose, it could work for them, in that they know that, okay, we didn't need to win that one necessarily. Would have been great, but it's still only 2-1. If they make it 2-all, there's at least a bit of a barrier, a little bit of insurance.
And a 3-2 loss, if that is what's to happen, we said it earlier, wouldn't be disastrous in this format. So, what's going to happen? Which permutation of the results will we see occurring right now? Garage to the backboard is trying to give NRG an early lead in this 4th game, but it might work out against him. Gyro finds AJ. Justin suddenly realized there was all sorts of danger, and he used all of his boost to snuff it out. AJ's round the corner, Squishy's in the air, and his touch is backwards and horizontal, but it's actually worked out really nicely towards Justin. He and Gyro fake each other out, and Illusion comes forward, but Illusion wasn't really expecting that ball, so it's Squishy that it falls to, and he does some great work to get himself out of that corner.
Can AJ get a dunk on Justin? Certainly tries to. Now Gyro to the backboard. Will clear it long as Garrett G can again just try and get out of that final third, and isn't necessarily able to. With 1 minute and 10 seconds gone, though, it has been unrelenting pressure from FaZe Clan, and they've had a couple of really good chances too.
Yeah, so near yet so far, though, because NRG have managed to hold out. There was almost a boost steal there from Squishy, but it just didn't spawn for him. Just managed to get the ball to Garrett, who hops it over the FaZe Clan man. Justin and Gyro, there's this one landing. It's AJ who can dribble away. So effective with these air dribbles, and he has been yet again right there. Won't score from this one, but just gets the territory way back in FaZe Clan's side. So Justin has to launch another attack from the beginning. We know what he's capable of, though. Passes in the middle. Lucian and AJ can combine to get it away.
An extended period, though, of no scoring for either team. But FaZe Clan not looking to have gone back into slightly awkward ways. They're still putting on even more pressure than they were doing previously. Gyro in Game 1 would never have gone for that challenge, and that confidence is really coming through in their gameplay as a whole. Another dunk sees the ball fly high in that back third for NRG. Can Garrett catch it on that backboard? Does so, but AJ there to take it back again. There is a lot of boost being used for NRG now, and not too much boost starvation going on for FaZe. Just one of the keys missing to break down that padlock.
But it is NRG's gonna have a clean shot here. Gyro had the save. Garrett can come forward again, though. Wants to get this double tap. AJ this time blocks it out. This one's on a knife edge, and Lucian's up very early for that, earlier than he needed to be. So his pass towards AJ was a little bit floaty, which made AJ's next touch a little bit tough as well. He does get one demo on Justin as he comes out. Wants to get one on Garrett as well, but doesn't quite manage to. Saved again by NRG. It's just both teams just jabbing at each other quite confidently right now, but we're just not seeing that clear-cut chance.
I'm enjoying seeing FaZe go for these small little shots as well, because it then means that NRG are needing to make sure they've got a priority on the man at the back, because the amount of long shots that are coming in, Squishy not quite able to sink in that acute angle that Garrett managed to earlier. There's a few chances coming in, and that's what I'm really enjoying seeing, because finally it challenges that back man, and that back man has to be present, otherwise FaZe go ahead.
This is the cleanest rotational game we've had in this series as well. It's no surprise, really, this is 0-0, because all 6 players rotating around each other so well. Nobody overcommitting, no one overextending. I think this one's going to come down to a little bit of magic. Sometimes like this, you think it'll be a goal from nothing, but here, with the players we have on display and the way they're all playing, I thought for a second I was casting that there was going to be a rubbish goal. Thankfully, we're still 0-0.
It's Justin trying to get that one to go with one flip. Tries to go for the second reset. And a pinch underneath. Garrett does see AJ trying to go for the flick, but demoed out of the way. Gyro trying to flick over the top. No, 1 minute remaining. As that ball bounces just slightly to the side. More centers coming in from both teams. Everybody on the same page of the first goal will be an infield pass.
Do you reckon? You're that confident? Well, see, I'm going to go for a demo goal. I think they seem to be what's breaking up the rotation the most right now. Oh, miss at the backboard, surely no. Gyro towards Squishy. Does Garrett fancy a bit of this one? He doesn't on that occasion. Now Lucian can get something going. He's got plenty so far this series of his mechanical plays. The demo helps, but Squishy was there to help out.
Gyro cleverly faking out, going for that central pass. Instead, go for the solo play on the side. AJ, chance to shoot. Takes it to the corner. Attempts the double tap. Isn't able to, however.
Good touch.
Lucian with very little boost. We'll see him facing off versus Justin. Garrett trying to get a demo. But the ball to Lucian with little boost. Has FaZe Clan in the final 8 seconds pushing.
He's going to be the first to get this touch. It's Gyro. Garrett just about manages to avoid a bump, but Gyro does a pass. Lucian had rotated back. And unsurprisingly, this one is a 0-0 overtime, and if any game deserved it, it's this one.
Another one, though, in a row. Last time, FaZe Clan managed to win it out. They took the series lead. Will this one be the series win? Justin wanting to shut out FaZe Clan as best as he can. Squishy on this right wall. Sees a man central, and another miss from the backboard. If FaZe don't clear those up, that is how they lose this series.
Or it tempts NRG in, and then they work it out to the other end and get an unlikely counter-attack goal. Stranger things have happened. Garrett G is going to try and set something up now. To the floor, bouncing it. NRG high. AJ high, should I say. NRG is high as well with Justin there. And Lucian's got a chance for a double tap. He's almost got it. That's the series right there. It's AJ, and FaZe win.
For the first time since fall, FaZe Clan can take down NRG in what has very affectionately been called the Group of Death. They will be sitting out at the top of the table alongside Space Station Gaming, who, actually above Space Station Gaming, thanks to their game differential, because Space Station earlier on the B stream managed to take down version 1 3 games to 2. And that is Space Station Gaming playing with Sathu as well instead of Rettles. Fantastic performance from FaZe there. In game 1, that 5-2 looked like it may well be the recipe for the 3-0 in the series. Instead, though, fantastic playing through. And Gyro, you saw the emotions at the end, looked so happy with his team.
Yeah, what a performance he had as well. He was the man we saw being interviewed at the start, and he just came in clutch so many times for FaZe Clan. The air dribble's hugely effective. Whenever he went for a mechanical play, it seemed to be the right decision. FaZe just played as well as we've seen them play for a very long time to take down NRG, something that they very rarely do, even when the pressure isn't anywhere near this high. But don't forget that pressure. They have to do well in this event to make the championships. That win sets them going for what could be one of the biggest weekends of their lives.
Yeah, it's a great moment for FaZe Clan, and there are hundreds of thousands, there are millions of fans out there that will have been watching this series with eagle eyes. Make sure, guys, you come back after the break because North America is continuing.
Verizon knows how to build unlimited right. Start with America's most awarded network.
I'm on my phone 24/7.
Then, for the first time ever, give families more entertainment with Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus, now all included.
We're a big soccer family. Handmaid's Tale. I love Frozen.
Then give families plans to mix and match, so you only pay for what you need.
You get so much more than this, a great network.
With plans starting at just $35. The network more people rely on gives you more. This is unlimited built right, only on Verizon.
Fly Audible and travel the world. Listen up and settle back with thousands of destinations to explore. Whether it's an epic stay beyond the wall, long haul to Mars, a trip to Hogwarts, or ancient Greece, we'll get you there in style. There's another way to get away.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Rocket League Championship Series. You're watching the North American Spring Split Major brought to you by Verizon. I'm Leaf and Gibbs alongside me, and we have Cole and Shogun joining us on the desk. They thought that the All-NA pre-show was terrible. They beat up the other two and have taken over the spot now.
We were very nice about your bracket, can I say? It was very good, I thought.
I'm impressed with all of us, actually. I think we all went pretty even overall. So, yeah, a little round of applause.
Look,
no
wow.
bias around
Handshakes. Gibbs is like, I don't like this camaraderie.
Thanks, Shogun.
It was all Gibbs is EU biased anyway. Gibbs is the most biased person left on this desk, and it's not for his own region.
We all know he's the best, so it's fine.
That is true. Well, Shogun, now we got to see if you're smart enough to talk about Rocket League and not just banter. Break this down this last match here for us, because this went in a way that none of us had expected.
Yeah, I think we're all coming into this expecting, you know what, Justin's got the lights turned on, he's ready to go, he's going to smash his way through this. Wasn't the case, however. It was honestly a phenomenal performance, and what do you got to say? They are starting to, I feel, over the other side. AJ's no longer required to be the star. Everyone's starting to step up. Everyone's allowing themselves to be at the pace to try and challenge these games, and it's made a world of difference to them.
Yeah, I mean, AJ did have some great players, don't get me wrong, but I'd say it was more Lucian and Gyro who actually broke up the play when it was in a lull, rather than him using their mechanics. And that final game in particular was some of the smoothest rotational play I've seen from FaZe Clan in a long time. You can see the pressure was starting to build because they were so desperate for that goal, and they won out, and they just played brilliantly.
I mean, that's an important thing. Gyro's talking about how they just need to play their game, forget about that pressure, and it looked like they started to get into the right groove there, all three of them together. Let's take a look at the groups, though, as we are slowly starting to chip away some of these. Reminder, you can watch some more broadcasts if you watch or click the Watch in Squad Mode button. We have UGC and the Rocket RB also going on with a lot of matches here. But Gibbs is what we're looking like so far.
Yeah, it's one of the fun things about majors is these teams have had about a month off to figure out their issues, and we see FaZe Clan, not a great spring, but they come out on top so far of that group of death, and now that group is blown wide open because as well, Space Station with a sub taking down version 1, and of course it went to game 5 overtime because version 1 doesn't know how to play any other Rocket League, but when we look at group A, looks a little bit more normal. So we said Team Envy and Rogue are those two heavy hitters in that group, and they're both starting off with clean victories.
That is definitely a little more on par. We'll see if it keeps up, though, because we're going to head over there and start talking about our next match in Group A. It's Envy versus Shopify Rebellion. Cole, this is a big one for Envy. You know, they're looking for a major win. Showing off in groups is a great way to start it. But Rebellion have been really stepping it up come the spring split.
Yeah, I mean, Team Envy, we all know what they're capable of. The #1 team in NA, trying to establish themselves even further as that, sort of reduce any questions of who is the best. But Shopify Rebellion, this is the team that I've been impressed with for such a very long time. They play such fast Rocket League when they're at their best, explosive as well, difficult to deal with. I think that if they're playing well, they can just shock Envy, and maybe Envy can't quite keep up with their pace, but it has to be Shopify Rebellion at their absolute best to do that.
Fair enough. Chat, we need your thoughts, though, over in Group A. It's time for that Verizon fan vote. You know what to do. Hashtags in the chat, SR or NV. Right now, if you want to make sure your vote is counted for. Envy going up a pretty hot-looking Rebellion right now. Can they take it and continue their dominance in North America? I need the analysts' thoughts on this one as well. Let's go down the line. We'll start off with Shogun on this one here. Who do you have winning this one in group stage?
All right, Cole, we've got to keep the streak going here, buddy. I've got to take Team Envy on this one. They're just so consistently good all the time. We know Shopify Rebellion are on a solid streak at the moment, but we've also seen them be red hot this season, and then we didn't see anything of them for about 3 months. So we know it can just drop at any point for them. I've got to go for the consistency.
All right. Cole looks like he's got a bit of a I don't know about that face.
You're
going to hate me.
Cole, come on.
You're going to hate me. I would love to.
Go with the grain. You know the grain is comfortable.
Shogun, you would lose respect for me if I changed my mind based on what you said. And even before this question, yeah, well, I'm going to imagine that you would. And I'm going to go with Shopify Rebellion.
Johnny and might. I would
it's
not.
happened.
You'd
I've said it now. I've said it. Shopify Rebellion, I'm going for them. I just believe, after seeing NRG do well, Shopify Rebellion going to push them all the way.
Gibbs, why did we invite them?
Like Team Envy did something that BDS couldn't even do, and that is win their groups in all 3 regionals. They're going to do it again. Team Envy with the win.
Yeah, Cole, I appreciate it, but
FaZe.
I just yeah. I mean that's fair. I just don't
join me on Team Corn.
Think I can. No,
Team Cole or Team Corn?
Team Corn, go with the grain. Let's go.
I'm going with the grain. I have to go Envy. Like, there's no. I have to in this situation.
Screenshot this.
We've seen. Yeah, he just wants to rub it in when he's wrong. Okay. They've been too hot. I can't go against them right now. I really just can't right now. So I know everyone else is going to be on their side too, out in the audience. Of course, 80%. But you guys were wrong last time. We'll see if that happens again going forward. Of course, we're going to head over to the Verizon Skybox after we listen to Turbo Talk Envy.
Winning another regional against NRG felt really good for us. We were once again motivated after the win. After not winning for a while, it kind of gets down to us because we know we're a good team. We know we are one of the best. It just felt good getting a win back.
Taken off by Garrett, shot by Turbo, and too much! Envy drown NRG in offense!
We haven't really been working on anything like differently from our other regionals wins. We just try to stick to our game, and if we feel like something has to be changed, then we will do it on the fly. Otherwise, then it's just nothing's changed from the past regional.
Atomic getting a shot. The Turbo pulls it. Good luck saving that one. 1-0 Envy.
I don't really have any favorite teams to play. I just want to win against the top teams because it feels more prestigious than winning against, the lower teams. So any team in general, I want to beat all of them.
Finally the one that is Turbo! Oh my, the defense wasn't there. 2-0 Envy.
Sweeping Mickey Moon hasn't really been, that big of an impact on me. I knew it was going to happen, and I don't know, I felt sorry for him.
Oh, he got him! Turbo pulls up! Atomic puts it up on a golden platter, and Envy take the game!
We're feeling pretty good coming to the major. After the win, obviously, the mood is very high. We are motivated to play, motivated to win, and we're gonna come in pretty strong to this major.
NRG now 0 seconds from their own back wall, and they've got to go the distance. Atomic will kill it, and Envy take the regional in 7 games.
It's raining Lambos.
Well, Turbo Pulsa and Team Envy are looking to stay on track in this major and stay ahead of the pack as well, Dazarin. But Shopify Rebellion looking to stay alive and get one of those top 6 spots for the national or the championship matches.
Yeah, looking at this one, there's a lot going on here at the same time, right? Team Envy, also known as the Machine by some, are trying to prove that they are one of the best teams in North America. They're not happy with top 4. They want to be number 1. This is why this major is so important to them. But then you look on the other side of the coin here at Shopify Rebellion, and this is a team that's constantly been fighting just for, people to just notice them, get them in the conversation. They have been demanding to be a top 6 team all season long. I mean, one way to really get it going is to beat Team Envy while they're striving to be the best.
Well, and Cole, made sure it wasn't a unanimous desk, but when you looked at Twitch chat, man, almost 80% in favor of Team Envy, but you can't really blame them as they've been so consistent throughout the entirety of RLCS X. Is Turbo Pulsa looking to get a nice shot on target early on. And for me, and I don't know if you agree with me, Daz, I think Shopify Rebellion, it's got to come off of the back of Beast Mode.
Yeah, I think it's key to look at Beast Mode here, as he's just been that impact player that we've seen from Rebellion. Whenever he's on, that team's on another level. And if there's any time they need him, it's right now.
Absolutely. And one thing that I've noticed about Shopify Rebellion, a little aggressive out of the gates and prone to long clears over their heads, and we know how pinpoint accurate Team Envy can be with their shot placement, so they've just got to keep an eye on that as first minute has nearly come and gone, and no shots really threatening on target so far from either, as that one came out and ripped on target, but Beast Mode put it to the side, and still Shopify Rebellion looking for their first offensive surge as Team Envy seem to be controlling midfield well.
Yeah, that midfield presence has been incredible. It's been one of the reasons Envy has done so well. Got to control that if you are Rebellion here. It's going to be key on this matchup.
Absolutely, and a double commit there, but Miss can't get the double tap off the backboard. And Turbo Pulsa just looking to slow things down, keep things alive, and allow Atomic to rotate back and get midfield covered up as Rapid puts this off to the side wall. Turbo Pulsa continues to keep the pressure into the orange half, and Shopify Rebellion unable to break out. And I think it's due to just the constant pressure and the aggression we're seeing from Atomic and Mist, and Turbopulsa being so consistent on that back line, covering things up to be able to just poke that ball right back in.
Now looking at beast mode here, just trying to pick that one up, playing it into the corner. Got to keep an eye on him as Rebellion moving forward. You see Rapid there for the pass. Those infield plays starting to show signs of life here, Subi, pushing Team Envy on defense a little bit.
Yeah, and they're not just those known infield passes where it's just coming nice and low and the player's driving. It's a pre-jump in. Beast Mode gets the flip reset, and Memory punches it through, and Shopify Rebellion first to get a scratch in this series.
Look at this. Beast Mode, that flip reset is just enough to throw off Mist with the bump. Atomic scrambling on his way back, and Memory sees the right time to force the issue. But good first goal from them.
Absolutely, and that's what we're going to need to see from Shopify Rebellion, right? Like, they're not going to get too many opportunities in this matchup against Team Envy, and not too many windows, and that right there, you could see how important it was for them to make sure that they didn't let that opportunity just kind of get thrown into the trash can, as another opportunity for Beast Mode just a little off his mark there, and Team Envy on their back foot right now.
It's Team Envy. Oh, they're playing from back, but Beast Mode finds the top corner shot. Look at the awareness on this shot.
Ooh, a nice pinch there from Memory going all the way, and look at Team Envy, all three sitting in midfield, and Mist got a touch on that, but unfortunately, all three members pushed up way too far. Team Envy kind of scratching their heads at the moment, wondering what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely that early game here. We're going to have to look at Envy to see if they can adjust off the break. But you're starting to see double commits, and I think that's another punish. Beast Mode downfield. Won't be able to get a piece of that, but it is an open ball. Memory trying to play this one up high. And now Rapid will keep around it. Open net chance. Are they going to score it? Yeah, you got to wonder here. But just, no. Envy actually get away with that.
That would have been huge for Shopify Rebellion if they could have gotten a third goal and just extended the score line, but good job Team Envy able to race back and hold on, but in the box things are slowing down, and Beast Mode gonna poke it in. Shopify Rebellion running away with game number 1.
Wow, look at that swarm here. You see the bumps, you see the scramble here. They're making Team Envy look sloppy on defense. This is a team that is normally has a strong defense. I heard Mist talk about it especially. He wants to work on that. Hey, if there's anyone to point out the weakness, it's Rebellion right now, led by Beast Mode. As again, he's shooting 2 for 4.
My goodness. Oh my gosh! Off of the backboard! What a play!
This is what a team looks like when they're fighting for the top 6 position. Look at that Rapid saying, if there's no one on your backboard, that's okay, I'll be there to push it in.
An absolute insane redirect. What a passing play. And good vision there from Beast Mode. Able to find the player off of the backboard. But I just love how Rapid is never scared to go for those highlight reel goals.
No, that's, if anything, that helps this team, right? It builds them up the confidence. This is a big win for them in terms of just overall momentum here in the series that they're desperately going to need. Final minute here. They know it's not going to be easy. Yes, they take game 1, but there's a long way to go. And Rapid, he says, you know, we'll just keep adding on to the scoreline. Another one from him.
Oh my goodness. And look at this little dump off pass. Rapid swoops in, says, excuse me, bumps Memory out of the way. Just like they drew it up.
Rapid, you know, the score isn't favoring him. Both his teammates 500 plus the score. He says, I need a couple of goals. I need the points. Got to catch up.
Oh my goodness. And with that, Rapid shooting 100% here in game number 1. And Team Envy, jaw on the floor, just looking like a deer caught in headlights right now. And my goodness, do they have some work to put in before game number 2. And you heard Turbopulsa kind of saying, yeah, no, we don't really want to change anything. We don't want to work anything because what we're doing seems to be doing everything we need it to. And right now, well, I think there's some things to change.
There are going to be some things to change. Meanwhile, Rapid, oh my goodness, every shot he takes is something of beauty here. What a read.
Off of the corner? Oh my gosh, Rapid. He's trying to get the top 3 just out of game number 1 alone.
I'm here for it. But you can tell Team Envy isn't.
Yeah, they're nowhere to be found right now, right, Dez?
It's been tough for them. Just trying to wrap around it, which is odd to say. Normally, Team Envy play a lot better than this. But this one will definitely be all Rebellion. They start off strong here, which is absolutely necessary in a series against Envy. Game 1 gonna end 6-0 in favor of Rebellion.
I mean, you got Rapid getting a nice Hattie. You got Memory getting a playmaker, but don't forget about Beast Mode setting things up to allow them to go up 3-0. And it was a really hot first minute for Team Envy. They had 3 shots, and outside of that, it was almost nothing.
Yeah, you know, looking at in terms of Rebellion here, I mean, Beast Mode is the reason why this team gets on the right foot, right? He gets a couple early goals, catches the defense off guard. You see Memory following up as well, but Memory definitely was the assist man here overall. That being said, when you look at Rebellion overall, afterwards, Rapid, every shot he took was, I mean, most of them weren't even, he was facing the other net. He was on the back wall of Team Envy. When you get goals like that, it starts to build life within a team, Subi. And Rebellion have everything going right for them. You can bet, Joe, Team Envy, they're going to make a change here. How will they do it in game 2?
Well, I think it's got to start off with, okay, stop being so aggressive, number 1. 2, positioning is so important, and they were so bunched up, so they've got to spread things out. And 3rd, one of the most important rules in Rocket League, don't double commit, don't triple commit, because we saw them, you know, go for those bumps and demos in net, and then all 3 were pushed forward, and Rebellion kind of just went, all right, we'll take that, and run down the field with it.
Sometimes it's all you need, right?
Good, that's all you need is, yeah, just a little overcommit from your opponent, and you just got free reign at that net as Rapid, nice touch to get around Turbopulsa, and they've got another fast break, but Rapid off of his mark, and the perfect accuracy just goes to shreds right there. That would have been a huge moment to go up 1-0 over Team Envy in the first 30 seconds.
Right, you see that demo on miss to try to throw him off balance. They're trying to cut off the Team Envy rotation. This one is going to be a war of attrition as well. You start seeing these guys move upfield, trying to take boosts, anything to make each other uncomfortable here. It's a very testing first minute.
Absolutely, just turn it into a, just a little too wide on that one. And again, Team Envy a little aggressive in the offensive half, but it's all about turning this. Oh, what an infield pass. And watch Atomic, got to jump to avoid the defender.
Yeah, look at, you talk about Atomic here on this one. Turbo plays this one forward, and he jumps at the right time. Rapid was cruising for a demo, but hey, for the right reason. When you see Atomic with that shot, you can't let him have it for free because he puts on a show like that.
Yeah, way to avoid Rapid in that demo. And not only that, but to be able to keep your wits about you to put that shot on target looks so easy. You know, all these players make everything about this game look easy, and that shot, not an easy one to send right down the gut. As Miss keeping things alive for Team Envy, and Turbopulsa doing the same there in the corner and couldn't get that boost steal. So he's going to be rushing back as Shopify Rebellion looking to get their offense started here as a nice demo. Going to open things up on the back line, but look at Beast Mode just swooping in, seeing that demo, and immediately turning not to rotate back.
Yeah, Beast Mode does a lot of work there, but I think what's even more interesting too, on top of that, Team Envy doesn't move at all in net. I think they have a good awareness of like the field, and Beast Mode's playing really fast. They say, okay, we'll just slow down the pace. We don't need to commit any resources, and now we can begin the transition. And boy, are they. They're just volleying this one up into the air, but Miss is going to give away possession, and now Rapid on the hood trying to create some opportunities. Rebellion just, again, looking for any small chance to move downfield, but they have to be careful not to trip over each other. Almost a double commit there. Miss is going to get a free long clear downfield, and Envy are going to move on the attack.
Yeah, that was a great back pass there from Atomic to hit Miss so he could boom that downfield, and Turbo read well by Beast Mode to keep this ball in the blue half, and still Rebellion down 1 goal, trying to prevent a second one from going in, but Atomic poaching on the left-hand side of the field, going to increase the scoreline by 2.
Again, Atomic, he's at the right place at the right time. You have to keep an eye out for him because, again, when he gets these free shots, he puts it in the same spot every time. High and just under the bar. Beautiful work from him. Envy with a 2-goal lead.
Now, what a turnaround from game 1. And way to answer that. And we're gonna go and pause this game and figure out what's going on the field. But kind of happy for this pause because we get to break down what's been going on from game 1 to game 2. And right out of the gates, it just looks like the name of the game, which it always is in high-level Rocket League, is midfield. And right now, Team Envy not only controlling midfield, but just stealing the boost away from Shopify Rebellion.
Yeah, you talk about that boost steal being definitely a big factor there. Again, the midfield control has always been something that's been valuable, and you see that in the goals that were scored, right? And all of them, there's a little bit of space given, and it's just enough for a shot to come through. And it's usually when Rebellion are on their way back in terms of a defensive rotation. I think that's what Envy started to figure out. You know, the game 1 was definitely heavily in favor of a Shopify Rebellion, but what ended up happening was Team Envy noticed, okay, these guys are playing really fast. You know, they're in our face a lot. Let's just slow it down. We'll play it into our own half, and then we'll just punish them based off of that. And it worked out.
Yeah, and we just got the update. It's player connection issue, so we're going to wait for that to be resolved because majors, you want to make sure everyone is on a level playing field. But I also think one thing that Team Envy is doing to be successful here in game number 2 that we didn't see at all in game number 1 is having someone up on the backboard and someone that isn't on the opposite team up on the backboard. Make sure you're playing defense up there because it's just so beneficial to have someone there because you're basically covering up the top half and preventing those nice upper 90 shots from going in.
Right, that backboard defense has definitely been clutch here too. It's honestly been something that, you know, you haven't seen Rebellion really utilize in this game, and that's just because, okay, they know they have that covered. Rebellion are gonna have to work with different ways here to get back into it, especially since we're like halfway through this game now. You're only down by 2 goals against Team Envy, so there's plenty of time to, you know, pick things back up, but you can tell it's just a different atmosphere in here. I mean, we go from a 6-0 game 1 to not even being able to score in the first half of game 2.
That goal by Rapid was amazing. And while we're waiting, we're watching some highlights from game number 1, and it turned into from Shopify Rebellion highlights to Rapid highlights too, off of the back wall. And he's got to be one of the best in the business at just hammering those in. And I don't get how he is so consistent with them.
I don't. You know, that's one of the things too. Like we said, he shot 100% for that game, and the fact of the matter of all like half the shots being again from the other opposing half is just it's just wild. It's just wild overall. So yeah.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Of that. No, I was just gonna say I just want to see Rapid kind of really just kind of step up like that because that clearly pushes Shopify forward.
Right, and we see what happens when he doesn't because he missed that open net, and now they're down 2 goals when could have been tied up, or you could argue, okay, let's just say Team Envy still has those 2 goals, and now Rebellion would only be down by 1. So you got to scratch your head and kind of wonder what if, but unfortunately in Rocket League, there's no mulligans, there's no redos. You only get 1 opportunity on those fast breaks, and unfortunately for Rapid, that one didn't go in, but Shopify Rebellion battling like we talked about at the start of this series for a top 6 spot. It is so close between them, G2, and FaZe. And right now, they're making a very good case for themselves. But for us, we're going to take a quick break, allow this player to get the connection issue resolved, and we'll be right back. And welcome back to the Rocket League Championship Series. Thank you so much for your patience, but looks like everything's resolved and we're ready to be jumping back into this series and back into game number 2, which is about halfway over, and Team Envy doing a great job of dominating the field and really holding Shopify Rebellion in their own half, Des.
It's been a weird game too, I'd say, especially after coming off of game 1. But yeah, obviously we have this, bit of a slow breakdown in between things where you go and you look at Team Envy. Okay, what's the approach look like? We've seen them definitely change up their play style this game, and it's been in their overall favor. Now, again, it's about we're at the halfway point coming back into this one. What can Rebellion do in these final, 2.5 minutes to actually, try to equalize?
Well, you want to talk about weird? Right when we come back, another connection issue. So we're going to go ahead and get that resolved, but we still have plenty to talk about just based off of 7.5 minutes of gameplay from these teams. But, you always wonder, like, what is a team's mindset going into a series? Do you think that they overlook the opponent and look ahead, look into the future at who they're going to be playing next? And Team Envy, I know they probably take Shopify Rebellion seriously, but after game 1, they take them a lot more seriously.
I think so. When you talk about that mindset earlier, I feel like that applies heavily for Team Envy. Right? They're looking at the top teams. They're looking at, okay, NRG, they want to have a better run than those guys. But for Rebellion here, they're looking at every single matchup, mainly because there's so much on the line for them to where, okay, we can't psych ourselves out worrying about some other matchups. Let's take it one game at a time. Let's look at Envy. How can we pick them apart? This has been a big break for them, so they do get some time to kind of reassess. So they're locked into this series. And I think after that game 1, like you said, Subi, it got Envy like, wait, hold on. We got to beat these guys before we can think about NRG.
Exactly. And, speaking of NRG, we can speak of other teams because we just got an update. G2 took down SSG 3-0. And just a reminder, SSG playing with Sathu instead of Reddles. And with that, game number 2 back underway. Team Envy against Shopify Rebellion. 1 half still to be played here.
The big question is going to be, what does this look like right off the jump? Teams get a lot of time here to make some adjustments. And that's going to be a key factor. You already see Rapid looking for that individual effort. The Turbo is going to try to move forward from Envy. He does take that midfield boost, and Miss actually gets a bump on. There should be a free ball for Atomic, which is scary in itself, and that's why you see Rapid there to get that midfield challenge to be able to cut him off. Not giving Envy any time is exactly Rebellion's MO.
Yeah, and Beast Mode had to avoid a demo on the backside there from Mist, and I think if he gets touched there, you're going to see that scoreline increase to 3 as Memory comes off the side wall and just going to put it back into the orange half. Nice pass, but Atomic already off that back wall, meeting Beast Mode in midair, and Rapid trying to keep things alive as time dwindling down here for Shopify Rebellion, and you'd like to see him get a goal here in the next 30 seconds or so, have a minute to work with, and this is a good opportunity. Fast break, but Turbo Pulse swoops in to keep this ball in the orange half.
I think it was Memory as well who was trying to get a fake on Turbo. Turbo was not letting it happen. You saw even missed there, a laser of a shot. Envy are playing at their own pace right now. Rebellion are going to have to demand their position on the field.
Right, and for Team Envy, that's slowing things down. Shopify Rebellion really like that fast pace, high aggression, and just causing chaos. And we saw a few goals like that where everybody's on the goal line just scrambling to get a shot. And a nice shot here from Turbo Pulse, a fed off of that back wall from Atomic.
Look at the speed here from Turbo. Atomic gets the pop-up. It's the softest touch possible as he doesn't want to throw off Turbo's approach. And Turbo just dusts the defense. 3-0, Envy pick up where they left off.
And this is a Team Envy, Daz, that's playing with a very quiet Mist. And we know how dangerous Mist can be. And as I say that, going for a flip reset double tap off that back wall. But once Mist wakes up, I think it's a different story, not only for Shopify Rebellion, but for every team in RLCS.
Right. This is, again, early in the major. But man, is it a big game regardless of it.
For both teams, right? Team Envy wants to stay on top, prove that they are the best team in North America. And Shopify Rebellion, beast mode off of the wall, but still down 2.
I like this. Beast mode just recovered off his initial touch. Ball gets played right back into him. Envy, you're not comfortable with him on the sidewall. Beast mode punishes.
Great shot there, but it is going to be a tough ask for Rebellion to get 2 goals here, especially after this kickoff. And you can pretty much count them out here in game number 2, unless they somehow miraculously get a goal right now. Memory. Carrying, nice pop. Rapid can't get that, and a good challenge there from Atomic. And Team Envy gonna tie this series up after a stunner of a game 1 ended 6-0. Team Envy turn around and beat them 3-1.
That's exactly what you get, though, when you play Team Envy. Sure, you can play aggressive game 1, you can have fun, you can show your entire style, do whatever you want to them. But that's only one game of a very long series, and Team Envy is here to show you just why. Look at that adaptation, how they completely took control. Not only did they pull Rebellion out, they turned up the heat. Team Envy just played with a different fire, especially with Turbo towards the late half of that game, where Rebellion needed everything to move forward. He was the one that got those great cutouts, the great additional goal, and kind of sealed the deal here for Envy.
Yeah, and, Team Envy only had 6 shots in game 1, and they ramped things up here, 9 shots in game number 2, which is kind of shocking to me because I felt like they really slowed things down, yet they somehow increased their offensive volume. But it's all due to the fact of them just corralling Shopify Rebellion in that orange half and not letting them break out on those fast breaks.
And those fast breaks are super important for both teams, mainly for Envy, though, because we know Rebellion, they like to play up. So for Envy, they could just play them out and just get them on that rotation. But Rebellion, I think towards the end of that one, you really start to see them come out and, put some plays together there. They were able to get past Envy in the midfield. Hopefully they can build up off of that going into a very deciding game 3.
Yeah, it's all about getting your offense started earlier and not in the last minute of gameplay. So for Shopify Rebellion, this first minute here in a game 3, which is, a seesaw match, could go either way. It's so important for Rebellion, though. If they can put Team Envy on match point, huge for them.
It is going to be huge here, and I think that's why you get that big breakdown, as we know, okay, where are the strengths lying here for Rebellion? Beast Mode still being consistent. Rapid was a little quiet in that game too, similar to Mist, but I mean, for Mist, it's okay to be quiet. Your team already has a 3-goal lead. Atomic is shooting lasers of shots here. You can play that support role and just try to set him up a little bit more. As we get game 3 underway, I gotta see everybody on Rebellion step up.
And that's what they did in game 1, right? Everybody getting on the scoreboard, whether it be goals, whether it be assists. And in their case, it was all of the above. And Shopify Rebellion on their heels to start game number 3, trying to break out. That's a nice little ground pinch there from Memory, but can't get past midfield line, and Turbopulsa goes up. Big swing and a miss, but everybody bit. And Shopify Rebellion had to reset on D.
Yeah. Now Memory in a tough spot, has to get a good touch there. Straight to Rapid, I like the pass down, but Atomic is there to pick it up. Off the backboard, Mist tries to play the whiff, but Memory was there to cover. And it's those quick plays, those adjustments that you see Envy really trying to take advantage of it. They're like a shark, just waiting for that opportunity to bite.
Yep, you can see him circling in the waters, and you can see that fin barely poking up. They are really good at concealing themselves when they want to, and we saw that in game 2 when Atomic had that great read as Memory looking for far post, a little too wide, and Atomic gonna feed Turbopulsa on the pass up. Turbopulsa not enough boost to follow that one up, and Rebellion gonna run down the field here. Memory trying to wave dash to get up to it, and does so successfully and gets a bump on Atomic, but Rapid was on the opposite side. Got to try and get a ground pinch here in beast mode. Gonna get the offense started as Memory just kind of continues to pepper that back wall, and Rebellion unable to get any infield passes working right now.
Beast mode on top of this one. There's Memory, play it out. Good clear out for Mist. straight to Atomic. I like how they're just passing in transition. They are able to play that off the back wall every time, and that's why you see Rebellion sit up there, because they can expect that long clear coming. And look at them, they're using a lot of boosts, and Envy's also hunting as they're trying to take boosts of their own. Turbo Pulsar with a big shot. Memory there to get the save.
Yeah, it's okay to use a lot of boosts on offense because you can always rotate back. But when you're on defense, you can only go back so far. And when you're in net with 0 boost, can't quite cover the whole picture. The whole frame is beast mode. Nice pass up to Rapid, open net, and he missed it. Too close, and Rapid can't hammer it in. That's 2 in a row.
You gotta hit those, Rapid. I'm sorry. Okay, you're playing against Team Envy. You don't get that opportunity again. You may have had a game 1, but that defense is gonna clean up. And wow, Rebellion let one slip away.
You gotta have that. I agree 1,000,000%, Daz. You have to hit that. And Rapid not gonna miss. 3rd time is the charm, and Rebellion up by 1.
He gets another pass downfield. Look at beast mode. Huge beat, and Rapid says he won't miss again. 1 goal lead for Rebellion to start things off. They finally get things on the right foot. They're winning that midfield battle, Subi, and it's paying off.
Is Rapid the modern day North American a lot? You know, they're both giants. They're both downfield. They're both really mechanical. I mean, just saying, I'm connecting some dots here. Rapid.
Well, no, Rapid's definitely taller than a lot. There's some tall folks, though.
There's some big men, that is for sure. Definitely dwarf you and I as Atomic. Gonna pass that back to Miss. Nice double tap off that side wall, and you saw Atomic wanting to go. Oh, no! Turn that ball over in the box to Turbo Pulse, and it was a tough play there, but somehow Shopify Rebellion still holding on, and 1.5 minutes to go here. Team Envy, the offensive production has slowed down massively compared to game 2. So far, only 2 shots for both teams here in game number 3.
You saw that little touch pass midfield. You cannot do that. Turbo Pulsar is one of the most aware players on this entire field right now. If there's anyone who will jump at an easy shot on net, it's him. Oh, no! Atomic! Wait, Beast couldn't get the bubble up. Clown Fiesta in front of the Envy net. And regardless, it's still a 1-goal game.
Oh my goodness, they all got those big shoes on and the red noses right now, because I agree, that should have been a goal. And you want to talk about shoulda, I think Rebellion should have been up by 3, but still down 1. Team Envy, the ball on the right half, and as I say that, beast mode monster pinch downfield. Rapid causing chaos. Turbo Pulse on the back line. Nice infield pass. Memory finding beast mode, and that's a team play.
That's so good. You see Turbo with that play off, but Memory gets it to beast mode. It looks like beast mode's gonna rotate out, but he gets that turn, and as well as Atomic is set in net, he's not set enough to stop that shot.
Whew. Rebellion heating things up here. Memory gonna slow it down, and 30 seconds to go here. Team Envy starting to show some sense of urgency and might cause a little chaos and disruption. You saw Mist and Atomic bump into each other as Turbo Pulsar goes up, double tap, can't quite find it, but Mist looking for Atomic. Atomic back to Turbo, and 1 too many passes there in the box, and I think that's gonna just not seal it. It is gonna seal it because Memory gets a clutch save, and he's just staying in goal to hold on. And Shopify Rebellion calling match point.
Wow, Rebellion gets the win there. Like you said, they put this series on match point. It's going to be very important for them to keep things up. But you saw even towards the end, Envy were trying to battle back. Miss almost had a clutch shot. I really want to see that save again because that was actually, like, I mean, he jumps at the right time to pinch that out. But wow. The Rebellion end up battling back. Obviously, Subi, we thought, okay, there probably should be a bigger score line here. But there also is a overall picture of Envy only being limited to 3 shots, all of them coming from Turbo. It just seemed like Atomic and Miss were just shut out. They had a hard time setting things up in terms of actual quality shot chances. And I think that just has to do with Rebellion's speed there.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't even think it needs to be a bigger score line. I'm just impressed at how close it was in terms of shot production and how low those shots were. It was insane, especially when we just saw Team Envy go from 6 in game 1 to 9, and then to drop all the way down to, what was it, 3, 4? Just pretty impressive from Rebellion to turn the tides like that and really hold Team Envy down. But I thought Rebellion would be the beneficiaries of a more aggressive game style, and really, it looks like if they slow things down, the odds are in their favor.
Okay, so Rebellion with a chance to have an amazing start here in the groups.
This would be insane.
Have to finish this one. Envy, they're trying to force a game 5. What?
I mean, to see, I'm sorry, Daz, but to see 2 back-to-back upsets like that, that would be crazy.
It would be crazy, but I kind of expected it coming into this weekend. You see these top NA teams, they're going to play on a different level, especially when you have 3 of them trying to fight for the top 6 spot. And Memory putting the fight in. Beautiful goal for Rebellion.
Oh, look at the catch from Beast Mode to pop that up to where only he can touch it and keeps that ball far enough out of the corner, out of Atomic's outstretched arms. And Rebellion go up by 1 early here in game number 4.
It's that quick play. Rebellion get on the board. And now Envy have to force the issue. It's an early goal and a lot of time on the clock. But for Rebellion, they've got everything going for them this series. We are actually looking to see what's going on with Envy. This team, the Machine, may need a trip to the shop. They haven't been looking good at all.
Oh my gosh.
Down
Oh my God.
Goal. Turbo with a clear out.
Oh, Rapid got a touch, not only the first time coming down off the backboard, but also the second. Absolutely incredible, and Memory gonna slow this down, and Atomic, great challenge to put it into the box, but his teammates had already rotated back for boost as Beast Mode puts the challenge on Turbo Pulsa and missed with a monster clear downfield, but unfortunately no one there to get their offense started, but Atomic gonna get things rolling. Turbo Pulsa a little too soft on that touch over to Mist, and they're gonna turn this ball over, and Mist off of the back wall gets a good save put on by Memory.
That's actually a really good save, too. The pass didn't go well. Turbo tried to sauce it up to Mist, couldn't, and Mist, last back, gives up a free shot, but still able to make the save. Good defense for Mist there, but they're going to need a little bit more of the defense now. Again, put on match point. Rebellion has everything going. They have all the cards in their hands. So what will Envy do now?
What a pass.
Set out. Turbo tries to get there, but he's too late, and Rebellion will move the other way.
Insane pass there, but well read by the defense, and we're nearing halftime, and you can start to see Team Envy playing more aggressive by the second, and that is a dangerous pass. Memory reads it well, but can't tuck it inside corner, and Turbo Pulsa gets a much-needed save to keep that ball from going in back post, but here comes Atomic, gets 2 to go from a Rebellion, but a big clear all the way downfield, gonna reset for both teams.
Beast Mode. Oh, this is a tough touch. Gives it right to Atomic, sails it downfield. Mist is up. He tries to actually read Rapid's clear there. I get, being a little bit more creative, but Envy are using a lot of resources here on offense. More passes to midfield. They are stretching the defense of Rebellion on this drive.
And a lot of high-risk, low-reward plays where it is so tough to get those shots in if they do pan out. And you're putting yourself so far out of position, but Turbo trying to slow this down. Beast Mode waiting patiently on that side wall. Good challenge and good comms there from Atomic and Mist, but unfortunately Atomic put a little too much heat on that pass, and Beast Mode seeing Mist cheat up, just gets a touch on that one. Mist slows it down, pops it in, and Turbo Pulsa just trying to keep that 50-50 neutral, and dangerous ball there as Memory got caught on that side post. But nothing coming to fruition here for Team Envy, and Rebellion doing a great job on defense.
What I like from Envy, though, here is, they have the right idea. Okay, let's throw a pass here. The problem is the passes are awkward. The execution isn't there, so then it looks sloppy. Rebellion can pick it up and try to move back downfield. Although Rebellion have control so far of this game, it's still been a 1-goal game. You saw the ball barely roll toward the goal line, and just like that, I almost felt the nerves there on the field from Rebellion, just making sure, okay, let's just not own goal here, keep things smooth. We have the game, we have the series, but can we hold on? That one's going the other way, and Rebellion will be able to play it into the corner.
Well, that should be a wake-up call for Rebellion to spread things a little further apart on offense because you don't want to get caught with one of those awkward pinches that can find its way over your back shoulder. As 30 seconds remain, flashes across the screen, and you can see all three members, Team Envy, focused up in this game. They need one goal to tie it up, and that's a great pass. Down, missed, can't find Atomic. The passes, you called it, Daz, just a little too awkward to find their mark.
Final 10 seconds.
Here we go. Oh my goodness. Beast mode almost finding that. And Team Envy have to go the length of the field, but Memory smartly just drops it down. And Team Envy upset by Shopify Rebellion.
They really did it.
They did it.
They really did it. What a way to start the spring major here for Rebellion. A win against Team Envy. Wow. See, this one, I mean, it looked like Rebellion from game one, they set the tone. But afterwards, you saw Envy trying to adjust, but it never felt like Envy fully had control over this series. Rebellion were in the lead every step of the way.
Daz, is today just upset city or what? And now we've just got to put up with Cole saying I told you so for the whole day. So while we deal with that, we're going to go to a quick break, but don't go anywhere. We'll see you on the other side.
Verizon knows how to build unlimited right. Start with America's most awarded network.
I'm on my phone 24/7.
Then, for the first time ever, give families more entertainment with Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus, now all included.
We're a big soccer family. Handmaid's Tale. I love Frozen.
Then give families plans to mix and match, so you only pay for what you need.
You get so much more than this, a great network.
With plans starting at just $35, the network more people rely on gives you more. This is unlimited built right, only on Verizon.
At you like monsters in the night, and you feel the danger that makes you wanna hide. When the cards are stacked against you and you're standing on the edge, now's the time, now's the time. Think about all the dreams you keep inside. Think about all the ones you love. I know this beating heart will be my guide. I know that we can overcome. When the world's so cold and we're losing hope, I need her, I need her. When the darkness comes and we're overrun, yeah, I need her. That's when we need each other. 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 When you're falling faster and don't know where you are, you feel the danger closer than your heart. When the weight is getting heavy and the future is unsteady, close your eyes, close your eyes. Think about all the dreams you keep inside. Think about all the ones you love. I know this beating heart will be my guide. I know that we can overcome. When the world's so cold and we're losing hope, I need her, I need her. When the darkness comes and we're overrun, yeah, I need her. That's when we need each other. 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 That's when we need each other.
Hello and welcome back to the Rocket League Championship Series Season X. We are watching the North American Major for the Spring Split, brought to you by Verizon. I'm Leaf, and alongside me, Gibbs and James and Achieves have now joined us on the desk here to talk about that last match, because I don't know what's going on, Achieves. I don't know what's happening.
Big upsets to start off the day, to say the least, and you gotta give credit to how Rebellion played. Passing in a lot of tight zones to execute on not a lot of margin for error. I mean, look at that shot from Rapid. You gotta be picture perfect on your timing to hit some of these, and played some solid defense as well. So a rare day where Envy is just stalled out cold on offense.
The Shopify Rebellion, I swear, they look like a team that could be the best in North America sometimes. They really do. And to me, one of the biggest threats is Rapid when he's on the backboard. He's just hanging around up there. You even see Memory do it at the midfield at times, but they're not afraid to take that incredibly aggressive positioning and make those passes up to their teammates on the backboard to get those redirects right in front of net. They do it so much. And Rapid, I think that's a trademark for him, and it adds such a threatening aspect of the game for Shopify Rebellion.
Well, let's take a look at the groups now, because these are looking, Gibbs, drastically different than what we had thought when we started
absolutely.
the day.
Me and the Chiefs, not very smart. We'll start with that. Group B, we said FaZe would come in last. Well, they're 2-0. I don't know if they've technically clinched the spot yet, because everyone could technically finish 2-2, but very likely they're making it through to the next day. But all three teams fighting for a championship spot. 1-0 with Rebellion, 1-0 G2, FaZe Clan 2-0. But G2 got a perfect sweep on Space Station, 0 goals allowed in a 3-0 sweep, and poor version 1. They played FaZe, and guess what? It went to game 5 again.
How?
And guess what? Version 1 lost again, another game 5. So version 1 keeps going the distance, but it's not working out for them.
How does V1 keep going to game 5? It's ridiculous.
I really think they think that they get paid hourly, but they don't. They get paid based on placement.
Yeah, that is just mind-boggling. They've played so many games across this season, but hopefully they can get some going forward, because they have not gone their ways thus far. Let's move on to our next match, though, as we head on back over to Group B here. Next up, it's G2 versus FaZe Clan. And James, FaZe sitting now at the top of their groups. G2 coming in, trying to prove that Drees is the right answer here. They had a bit of a stumble, in their matches a few weeks ago, but now they're trying to get back.
Yeah, FaZe, another one of those teams where we've seen high peaks and low valleys, but right now it seems like they're peaking, and they're going to need to against G2. This is one of those teams they're competing for that final spot in the top 6 against, and I think they're coming in at a great time. If FaZe can play like they've been playing, G2 with Drees, they started off pretty well, but I think for me, I need to see Drees do more to commit on offense. He's been a bit skittish at times, which is understandable. You're coming in, you're playing with these great Chicago and JNAPs, but Chicago and JNAPs offensively have just done so much. And Drees, he is a very solid player, and especially you're coming in filling the big shoes of Rizzo, but I think the shoes are still pretty big. Drees going to have some growing to do to fit in fully, but this is a huge opportunity for FaZe Clan, and they need to take it.
Chat, the question is, do they take it? It's time for the Verizon fan vote. Hashtags in the chat. FaZe, hashtag G2. You guys were burned before when you didn't vote for, that was quite against FaZe, in fact, with the NRG pick there. I think they barely got over 10%. I'm sure that might change coming into this match, though. Analysts, let's get ours out while chat is putting theirs in chat right now. We'll start off with Achieves down at the other end and go down the line.
I kind of want to pick FaZe just because I do feel like eating my words a little bit, but I think JNAPS is going to be too good of a defender along with Drees. I think the point I made in the pre-show about, yes, he hasn't been amazing, but he has been consistent, and that's all G2 is needed. So
all right.
I think G2 can still pull this one out.
Okay, James.
I just can't believe Achieves is still not picking FaZe. We just saw him be NRG, and G2 is no NRG, my man.
I understand.
I respect it, but at the same time, I disagree. I think FaZe is the better team. They showed it with that win against NRG, and I think G2 might be a little bit easier for him.
And Leaf, I was having internet issues during the pre-show, so I thought you said who would come in first in Group B, and I believe that is FaZe Clan. Because that is what I said in the pre-show. So I'm going to go with FaZe Clan here. They're going to go 3-0. They look good after a month of prep. They take down Energy. Why not G2?
Hey, production, can he accidentally have some internet issues again? Can we just I think I'll have to go FaZe Clan on this one. G2, I like what we've seen from G's early on. But then there were those stumbles, and I think there's a little bit more proving that has to go into it before I'm quite ready to commit to them. I think they're still a solid team, but FaZe Clan, it sometimes comes down to the day, and I think on the day, they're looking good. G2 fans out there, and they still only pulled 20% over FaZe on that one. So, yeah, that it makes about sense here, but that match is about to go down in the Verizon Skybox. Not before you guys get on Twitter, though, at RL Esports, hashtag RLCS, and also not before we sit down and listen to some words from Chicago.
For us on G2, this has been a big learning curve because obviously Rizzo retired and Dree stepped in. So we're still trying to get Drees like acclimated with our playstyle and what we're trying to do. So right now we're just trying to still get comfortable.
G2, Drees by himself. Oh, 1 versus 2.
I think in the upcoming years, you'll see him blossom even more. And people will be like, that was a good pickup by G2 back in the day. And I think it's just going to be really cool for me and JNaps to say, oh, we kind of mentored him, even if it's just a little bit at the beginning of his career, and helped him get off the ground. But right now he's honestly surprising everyone, including me and JNaps and the whole G2 team.
Here's G2, they've scored it. JNaps first to the center ball after Chicago drops it down for him. That's a great play by Chicago.
To be honest, I think we play well against 99% of those RLCS teams out there. I actually think we are very comfortable against all of them. There might be a few like SSG that kind of have a different, slower play style that might affect us a little bit more. But I never really had a problem against any other teams. Some teams are more fun to play against, which makes it even better. But in terms of these teams in the major, I don't think we have a play style mismatch against any of them. I think we're confident against basically every single team and know we can take the win if we kind of just play comfortable and have fun.
JNaps going for Justin, the last man. Oh! Shot comes through, pushes him out of the way, and Chicago ties it up with 20 seconds.
This is going to be the last tournament that decides it all between us, Shopify Rebellion, and FaZe, right? This is the most pressure we've had the entire season. Of course, you can look back and be like, oh, if we finished here, we would have been top 5 guaranteed. But obviously, you can't do that now. So all the pressure is on us 3 teams to perform. No one really else. But it's going to be good fun. I think it's going to make it a lot more entertaining for the fans. So I'm excited to see what happens.
Get back to it. Oh, Drees off the ceiling. And it gives G2 the lead.
Well, Chicago and JNaps going through the bunch.
It's been really good today, Johnny, seeing all of these teams that have got the pressure on them really starting to step up. And 2 of the teams about to take to the field right now. FaZe and G2 have looked great today. G2 even taking a perfect sweep in the last round against Space Station Gaming. So this should be very interesting indeed. Might even be a little bit of a precursor to what we've got for the rest of the weekend.
Well, it's going to be huge. This is such a massive match for 2 teams that are still in the running for that top 6. Making championships is all that these guys care about. And seeding is everything going into tomorrow's matches, especially with the groups being as wide open as they are. Now, early Chicago had a big chance there. He's still lurking around on the back wall, trying to drop it down towards Drees. He's denied by Gyro. That's a good start for G2. No reward as of yet.
Over in Group A as well, their main competition, Shopify Rebellion, also winning their matches. They beat Envy in the last round. All 3 of those teams looking outstanding today, but we're going to see if they can continue it. And JNaps' shot right down the middle. Illusion is good enough to try and keep that one out. But so far, G2 have had all the pressure. Now they're looking to try and convert it. Nobody midfield. The ball's been left around for so long. Chicago can get it back onto Drees, who seems to have consistently been the target. Just can't quite get the amount of space needed to pull off the shots.
That sort of aggressive move by Drees is exactly what Chicago was talking about in his interview, though. That's what they want him to be doing. They play a 3-man offensive style, but oh, they need defense right now. JNaps lifting the ball safely away from their goal. The crossbar had them covered, but even after that, JNaps needed to keep control of the ball there. As dangerous as it is to have the ball near your goal, it's worse when it's open. And now Chicago does his job. So it's everybody really showing up early for G2. I like what I'm seeing from them communication-wise. They've handled a couple of tricky positions there, but that's a miss from Drees, though. JNaps backing him up. And, you know, they've got to keep on covering each other like this. It's going to get more and more nerve-wracking the longer this game and this series goes.
Well, midfield battle, this has not been so far. It's like they're doing shuttle runs from either side. Is Illusion shows off the class. What a goal to kick us off.
Wow. I had to blink twice there, make sure it was Illusion. This is what AJ's been doing for FaZe all year. Now Illusion with the solo carry, quite literally, takes the ball over the entire G2 Esports lineup. Huge goal, and massive for FaZe, because they often look to AJ to be the guy to make those kind of plays. When he doesn't, they don't look like the same threat. They don't look like the same kind of team. Well, Illusion, continue.
He's going
Oh
again.
my goodness, he's done it! Oh! Illusion! 2 massive goals off air dribbles from his own half.
What is that? Illusion! He'll never want this 5 minutes to end. This has been incredible from him. And it's been a game that really has lent itself towards a lot of individual space, waiting to see who could pull out the play. And I 100% agree with you, Johnny. Looking at the players on the field, Illusion is not the first name that would have come to mind. Now it's not for Drees. It's straight down. And JNAPS can take it after a defensive mistake.
Quick response from G2, and it's Drees setting it up. Gyro and AJ running out of boost on the back wall there. Neither of them had anywhere close to 100, so it was a bit awkward for them. Well played though by G2. They were the team to put the pressure on them, seal the boost away in the first place. You know, I'm only thinking about one thing right now though, that Illusion hat trick. Where's it gonna be? Give this man the ball in your half. Just air dribble Illusion, please, air dribble. It's working pretty well so far.
All we've got left now is for the triple reset for the third goal that he's going to get off the game. Half the game gone. G2 looking to try and put themselves right back in it. And with the amount of offense that we're seeing so far, why not? That earlier demo coming in massive. Chicago very late to move in for his eventual shot. Drees almost faked out AJ. Now the extra one. Jenna takes the crossbar. Chicago puts it too high as well. And it's a monstrous save from AJ. That 2-1 lead is going to stay, but for how much longer?
Great defense from AJ. I'm really liking the G2 attack at the same time, though. It's a good performance on both sides. And the FaZe defense has really had to show up to just keep this 1-goal lead intact. That's a miss from Illusion, though. Free for Drees, but he wasn't there fast enough. Gyro was first on the scene. And now here's Chicago, top corner. G2 tie it up.
What a game this has been so far. The momentum consistently starting to shift hands. Chicago powers that one top corner. And game one very much up for grabs. Both of these teams looking for that statement. Haven't lost so far. I think both teams looking at V1, especially at 0-2 right now, will feel confident about making it through to the playoffs. But you want to send a statement to your nearest rivals. Not only are we going to make our way into that top 6, we're going to get even further than that when we get to the championships. Drees puts that right into the path of Gyro. Had to be very, very tricky with where he's put the ball so far, because both teams very aggressive with where they've been placing their players. AJ takes his time. He's got a little bit of space, instead allows Drees to play off the backboard. Awkward bounce for everybody. G2 was not able to fully extend the attack. They've at least managed to maintain possession, at least until then. Now to break away to the other side of the field. JNAPS ends up leaving in. That's on target. AJ had to figure that one out real quick. Oh, that's even more. It's off the post.
What? Well, that's a couple of quick scares for FaZe. And they didn't have great coverage on either of them. Now Drees with a beautiful double. It's gone into the off. Oh no! What is happening, Shogun?
I mean, how am I supposed to know, dude? Look at that, Drees. Great goal. Even better teamwork. That is a 2-goal comeback that you're going to remember for some time if it finishes like this. Chicago is going to try and make it another one up. JNAPS looking for Drees. He's got another one.
Wow.
4-2. And FaZe will look back at this and wonder what on earth. I mean, I say FaZe are going to look back at this and wonder what on earth happened. We're all going to be looking back on this and wondering what on earth happened.
Illusion's LFT after this one. He's thinking, what do I need to do to get a win against G2 here? I've scored 2 unreal goals, and then my teammates accidentally dunked on me to put us 1 goal down late in the game. It's a nightmare. I mean, this is the game that you will never forget, Illusion. It really does ruin the mood, doesn't it? When you score a couple of goals like this, you can't wait to save the replay, but now he's torn. Do I save the replay? It's a loss. You know, do I want that on my replays folder in game?
Oh, poor Lucian. He really wants MVP here.
The folder's going to be out there somewhere in the world.
Yeah. I mean, MVP for Lucian, easy in this game. Not even close. And they've lost 4-2. So G2, credit to them. They needed to really settle themselves down here, especially when you're playing FaZe and someone who isn't AJ does that to you. You really have to focus. And they did. They took the chances. They kept on attacking with all three players, like Chicago indicated in their in the pre-match interview, and they've scored 4. Well, they scored 3 actually. FaZe scored 1 of them for them. Still counts though, and G2 have the lead.
I mean, biggest credit I've got to go to here is G2's quality of striking. So in front of net, in the other side of the field, they've not had what I would consider to be a bad hit on the ball. Nothing that's hit the ceiling when trying to clear, when they're taking shots. It's pure power at the net. And that means that the offense has hit that tempo that they've always enjoyed playing at. So for G2, just keep this up. The 2 goals that you conceded were both outstanding. The rest of your gameplay was as good as it is going to need to be. And I just hope for more games like that one, Johnny. We can overanalyze all we want to. Just give me more Rocket League like that, and I'll be a very, very happy person.
I mean, a lot of these group stage matches early in the tournament are, a relaxing affair where you start to see what teams are going to be doing throughout the weekend. But that was about as far away from relaxing as you can imagine. It was brilliant. I want to see more from Illusion like what we just saw. And you never know, AJ could have that kind of pop-off game here. Even Gyro. I mean, I think Illusion all season has been the last person you'd expect to do what he just did. It was mostly AJ and Gyro on occasion. But as for G2, they, I think, played a much more solid team game. They were communicating brilliantly. And I also rate their mental fortitude more than FaZe, who have been a bit emotional in their losses at times. There's Gyro double touch into the post. That's G2 defender had it at least in his vision, which is one up on the late goals that were firing towards FaZe net in the first game.
I think if you're a fan of either side, as Gyro gets another good challenge for himself, and he is just throwing JNaps into the ceiling. I think if you're a fan of either side here, you'll be happier as the G2 fan, 1 with the win, and 2 with no point at describing that performance if we say the word pop-off. That looked like something you can do 2 more times for like every single game. As for FaZe, having that big player, you're not going to see every single time, but for G2, they can rinse and repeat this.
This is what they want to be doing. They want Dries attacking the ball early, and he looks like he's absolutely slotted into the rotation here. It's not a Chicago JNaps 1-2 punch combo. Dries is really getting involved, and he's been brilliant for G2 since joining the roster. He's made the solo plays, he's made the defensive plays. Oh, Gyro's just chipped that one. Don't know if he had a angle at the shot. Actually, his boost started, so maybe couldn't get around it. For G2 fans, this is exactly where they want Dries to be. Just joining that 3-man offensive rotation that G2 are so famous for, and using his mechanical ability to shine just as he has been for the latter half of this split.
Look at that as a pass. JNaps already up with Chicago. 2 mainstays of G2 already combining very well, but that was a little bit wasteful from Dries. Almost infield passing to the defense. And now we see the breakaway attempt. AJ already up. Chicago just that bit quicker. And once again, it's the lofted clear. Dries doesn't need to do a thing. That was quick.
That's a disgusting read by Chicago. It's so much more difficult for the defender to read that bounce that's directly overhead. And not only has he read the bounce and gotten to the ball at the same time as the attacking player, who's got an easier read than him, he's completely dusted him. He's left him absolutely irrelevant in the play. JNaps trusted Chicago to do that, which is even more crazy. He's already making that run down the center of the field. He knows that Chicago's got that. And I mean, after seeing how confidently Chicago hit it, I don't blame him. That's going to be another one. JNaps slots in his hat trick, and it is the Chicago JNaps combination that's firing at full speed now. Chicago again beating his man to the ball clean.
They haven't required anyone to be brilliant in these last 2 games. Every single player is just being great in their own right, and 3-0. Fully deserved. G2 look to have found another level to themselves. And kind of alarmingly as well, Johnny, they're building goal opportunities from their own clears and their own side of the field. We're so used to G2 being that team that is just harassing you in offense for ages to the point you've just got nothing left. This has just been, hey, yeah, you've got 2 players downfield. That means you've only got 1 left when we send this long ball for someone to try and follow up.
Yeah, it's a good point, and a lot of G2 success historically. Oh, that's gone in off AJ's touch, so Lucian just getting the right side of the post here after AJ centers it towards him. JNaps should be doing better with that clear. That wasn't ideal, but obviously it's awkward to try and knock the ball into a position 8 that Lucian won't be able to utilize. So Lucian is positioned brilliantly to make it difficult on JNaps. But like I was saying, G2 haven't looked vulnerable too often here, and that's something that was often the case back in the day when they were dominating and they were playing that all-in, that full aggression style in offense. Here's AJ. He doesn't have a dodge available. He would have liked to use one. Now Lucian also getting stuck in once again. But it's at the expense of another goal. Or is it? Great defense. AJ throws himself in the way of the near post. Chicago just a fraction of a second too slow to slot in the open net.
The phase, that bounce was about as neat as it had to be for them. Didn't ricochet off in a quick way that allowed the space to open up for another shot. Lucian has to just cut over, can't run onto the ball. Over to the ceiling, him and Gyro want to try and force some sort of pinch. Couldn't quite manage it. Breeze to JNaps, another mid-air. This is an interesting way of passing. We've got so used to seeing teams go from goalkeeper to player on the wall. They're now just jumping up early. Oh, wait a second. JNaps avoids contact. And he is able to get rid of the ball, but this pressure is still on. Huge questions being asked of G2's defense. Can they hold off on this? Well, when JNaps is winning challenges like that, absolutely they can.
Well, if Lucian was MVP of Game 1, JNaps has to be MVP of this game. He's scored 3. He's providing options to his teammates whenever they're looking to clear the ball. And he's just been on another level when it comes to speed. I think himself and Chicago have really been confident start to finish here. Obviously, one bad clear, but that's really all you can say negatively about JNaps in this game. And it wasn't really entirely on him. I mean, he didn't have the same options available to him to pass. He's provided. Chicago's
slightly off, I think.
Yeah, pinched into the post, but good try there. Can't really blame FaZe for advancing.
I can't look at that now without thinking of, oh wait, they're through.
That's open.
AJ's just gone.
Whoa.
G2, what are you doing? You're winning with just over 20 seconds left. You don't have to send this.
Dear. Chicago, he went on a little bit of a boost journey there. Stole the 100 in the back corner. While Dries and JNaps had ball pressure. No third man in the play. That's a bit more like the G2 of old, unfortunately, for them. Good read on the kickoff there, though. Fake attempted by FaZe. Chicago chips it up high, makes it difficult on them. The G2 have got good position here. Dries can waste a lot of time.
Yeah, take it to that corner, force AJ to move forward. And even from there, you realize that the offensive capabilities over in that corner are so few. Just allowed AJ to play it. That should drop to the floor in G2.
Okay.
Despite trying really hard to throw the ball into their own net on occasion, have managed to come out with Game 2. I'm going to let them have a way with it, and I'm going to continue to praise them. The ideas are solid. Maybe just don't trip over yourself on occasion.
That boost run from Chicago is definitely a bad idea. I mean, no way is it a safe play. There's no way you can convince me it's a high percentage play to charge into the back left corner of the other team's half, while both your teammates are in the back right corner, and the play is as good as 50-50. I mean, if your teammates have got obvious control, sure, make the boost seal, get back into the midfield before it comes before the ball does it likewise. That's not what was happening here. It's a bit careless for G2, but the advantage they'd accumulated was sufficient, and they played a smart kickoff strategy at the end of the game, which does deserve praise. Credit to both teams, actually. FaZe tried to trick them. Okay, I want to hear it.
Boost is shiny. Go and collect the shiny thing.
That's fair,
we've
forgot about that.
We've been conditioned over years of playing games to always go and make sure you pick up the shiny thing in video games. It's just force of habit, really. And yeah, we're going to see whether or not that force of habit is going to continue on in this game, or whether or not we're going to see G2 back to their best. That might still be on target. AJ clamours to get rid of it. Dries jumps on past. That leaves JNaps his own opportunity, but that block drops it down to Gyro. Has he found the target? No, he has not.
Gyro with open net miss of the day, and that's not an accolade you want to be going home with. That was completely uncontested, and he's just hit the post. And great defense, honestly, to deny the follow-up goal on what looked like another open net. But Gyro has let FaZe down there. They're in a lot of trouble in this series. They're already in a lot of trouble now.
I love that,
even
Gyro.
more.
Gyro realized he had no boost, but he also realized, hey, if I just stop here in front of the third man, he's gonna have to hit me or go around me somehow. So well played, actually, for a little bit of a switch up on how you're gonna approach defense. He's gonna keep them at 0-0 for now. Another challenge goes a little bit beyond the G2 player's third man. Chicago loitering on his way back, lets JKnaps take his own way through. Drees resets. And Drees, as you mentioned, his entire job is to build space for that offense to take their shots. Doing a great job of that since his move into the main roster. Back down the line, Illusion goes for net, wants to see whether or not G2 are out of position. Why not after what you saw in the last game? Maybe another opportunity. Demo might open up that gap. AJ, he goes for net, and JKnaps couldn't quite make it.
Well, AJ's shooting just fast enough there. As Drees didn't realize he was going to be called upon that early. The second man being demoed in the play really ruined the rotation for G2 defensively. And a nice air roll on the power shot from AJ. That, you know, without that little subtle air roll around the ball, I don't think it would have been possible to shoot that fast enough to beat the recovering Drees. So really good stuff there from FaZe. Will they be able to hold on to it? It's looked difficult for teams to hold on to leads. Strangely, strange ways here. That's a complete miss though. Drees had a free rebound, and he's gone straight past it. Nervous game for Drees in the middle of the series.
So strange as it came off a very, very solid performance. Yes, JKnaps is going to get all of the plaudits for that Game 2 performance. Drees definitely did his own part on creating that space as Gyro over the top of the first player. Those challenges always seem like they're just bouncing close to the G2 net. Haven't quite gone in just yet. As Drees is bumped away. AJ can't fake out JKnaps on the ball. He is going to get another shot at this. Chicago 2-on-2. Over to that corner. G2 just shepherding their opponents over into that corner every single time. You're allowed to play it. We're going to force you to play it from the most difficult angle we possibly can.
It's all about settling down now for G2. There's a chance again for Drees. Doesn't really get his car behind the ball, and it's lacking power. AJ, meanwhile, definitely not lacking power. Chicago saves it with an absolutely pristine, perfect touch into his own crossbar. And that was avoiding a dunk as well as preventing the immediate goal. G2 don't have the dominant offense at the moment that they had in games 1 and 2. They've struggled to establish that pressure that we're really expecting to see from them. Drees is starting to pace up again, and that's a free touch for him. He should have this, and he dunks it underneath the last man. Huge solo play for Drees. That's going to settle all the nerves.
Gyro, why?
Gyro.
He went up. I can't tell if he's faking it or if he's just out and out missed the ball and misjudged where it was going to bounce.
He's just missed it. I think he's just
completely
missed that one. You know, they're, like I said earlier, they're an emotional team. Gyro especially, such an emotional player. He started poorly, and now it's all gone wrong. JKnaps puts G2 in front as the kickoff goes completely their way. Gyro needed to make a play on JKnaps there, not the ball. The ball was over him, but he could have still bumped JKnaps. That is the counter to what just happened. But yeah, he's just lost control here, and he needs a moment like the one Drees just had. He needs a play to go right for him to just get himself back in the game. Problem is, time is really running out.
It is yet again that FaZe have played a solid game and then just fallen apart for really no reason at all. You're definitely saying game 1 that G2 upped the level of play, and they certainly did. This is just not required anything. This should have been better from them. As G2 maintain that offense, they'll try not to get caught out again like they got on a few times in the last game. As Illusion, unwanted second hit from him. Down the line, AJ tries to set up. It's straight into the path of Drees. They weren't moving back quick enough. Drees for the double tap. He ends up missing it. JKnaps, though, can continue to play. That's again off the backboard. Gyro's still uncomfortable on the field. And that is so close to going in. It's on the line. It's finally crossed over. 3-1. And unfortunately, this has been a very lost defense.
What a goal steal by Chicago as well. Although, to be fair to him, he's not sure if the defender has it, so he has to flip just in case. But that's just a nice little 2-goal cushion for G2. And with the defensive strategies they've picked out for the kickoffs, once again, it goes their way. They've absolutely outsmarted FaZe from the center circle today. With a 1v1 specialist like Drees in your team, you've got that faith that he's able to win those kickoffs more often than the opponents. And he's delivered there. JKnaps first on the scene again. And unfortunately for FaZe, they haven't had their cheating player ready to bump JKnaps when the cheating play goes wrong for them.
That 2-goal lead would normally be safe, but given how this series has been, maybe Chicago want to try and add a third to that already pretty comfortable cushion that they've got. AJ, well, he's out-mechanicked a little bit of a spill that they've had over in the defensive side. JKnaps lands on the ball. That's going to unleash Chicago. He's got AJ to try and beat. Aims for AJ's car, but he's not going to quite be able to do so. And that will do it. G2, the shot fired. They're going to take this series, and much required as well, because Shopify Rebellion have won this series 3-0. So we are going to be seeing them tomorrow.
If anybody's wondering, what does the warm-up lobby look like before we go live for the real games, just take a look at the last 20-30 seconds of that game. All players on the ball, just everybody's air dribbling. They knew it was already over. G2 weren't going to give up 3 from a full play, from a full rotational play in the midfield. But yeah, they've just succeeded where FaZe, they've excelled where FaZe have failed in this one. And Gyro, after missing that open net, just couldn't bounce back mentally. His head wasn't in the game. And that's something that he probably just has to work on. Some players are very good at that. They can make a misplay and then play some of the best Rocket League that they're capable of the very next minute. Unfortunately for him, it just set the tone for the rest of the game, and he just couldn't perform. But Drees, meanwhile, we have to give him praise because he didn't look great at the start of game 3, and then he pulled off the 1v1 play on Illusion to get G2 back in this. So brilliant from Drees. I think he looked good for G2 today. This is the sort of play they want to see from him moving on in this tournament. And with other teams struggling, this could be finally the event for G2 to make a deep run.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot there for G2 to be very positive about, especially, Drees looking really good. The offense, as always, is clicking. But as always for G2 fans, there was the mistakes. There's always going to be that little bit in the back of your mind that the occasional calamity is on its way. This series probably didn't do too much to try and get rid of those fears, but we've got the rest of the weekend to try and figure it out. We're going to go to break. When we come back, the North American Major will continue.
Verizon knows how to build unlimited right. Start with America's most awarded network.
I'm on my phone 24/7.
Then, for the first time ever, give families more entertainment with Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus, now all included.
We're a big soccer family. Handmaid's Tale. I love Frozen.
Then give families plans to mix and match, so you only pay for what you need.
You get so much more than this, a great network.
With plans starting at just $35, the network more people rely on gives you more. This is unlimited built right, only on Verizon.
Impressive, but to literally place it aimbot top corner, that's just rubbing salt in the wounds right now. That's 5-1, and the rest will be a formality, barring a miracle to end all miracles, as Exet, unfortunately, like you say, going to be 0-3 in the group, and that's fair enough. It was mostly predicted that they would struggle in this group, and we're not surprised by the fact. It's just a shame by just how close the margins have been sometimes. I say that in a game that is, of course, 5-1, which is ironic, but still, it genuinely has in the majority of their series. They've got one series left today to try and keep themselves in this group. The Grid wildcard team certainly happy to be here, won't be happy in which the painfulness that the losses are coming, but got one life left. And Rogue, they move on, and well played to them.
Bravo. Rogue have recovered after the start of the series. Skiller also being very overconfident with the way he just played, but really in many ways First Killer should be happy about his performance against some crazy moments that he has pulled out of his hat, And Rogue, yep, once again gets proven they are one of the best teams in the region. Still, they have 2 more matches to play themselves versus Team Envy and versus Shopify Rebellion. These matches are going to be coming out on your screens later on. But for XSET, one tiny chance, one tiniest of the chances, and they also need to be relying on Susquehanna Sonics dropping their matches as well. Mathematically, I feel like this is still can be possible. Realistically, XSET seemingly to be a team with a lot of heart behind them, that's for sure. JPO, AlphaCap, and Hoxer have been tremendous in, at very least, their approach to the game, and they've been trying to get as close to that win as they could possibly get, but close does not count, and all those 1-goal games does not count for much either if you are not having that W at the end of the day. Well, for XSET, keep on giving your energy. Again, 1 more match remaining, and if they do not make it to the second day, then start cheering for AlphaCap. As far as I know, he has teamed up with ZPS of Pittsburgh Knights and TKRL of Sonics, out of all people, for the Intel World Open as one of the USA teams, so you will be able to cheer for him. On the other side, another surprising setup as First Killer teamed up with Garrett G from NRG and Chicago from G2 Esports. That is a really weird setup, but there might be a lot happening behind the scenes why these players have decided to go specifically this arrangements. But we're almost done. Your immediate thoughts about the series, though, Tylacto. Was there ever a chance for XSET to take this, or should everyone just put the points into Rogue at the very start of it and forget about it?
I mean, certainly the safe bet would have been on Rogue, but absolutely XSET were in with a fighting chance there. That game 4 was not representative of the series. And you talk about First Killer at the end. For those of you who couldn't see in the chat there were all commodities at the end there. Everyone says GG's, smiley faces all round. And then there was First Killer who said GG's yawn, which is, yeah, like we say, definitely confident and certainly flexing that final scoreline, which was emphatic in Rogue's favor. But the series, very close there nonetheless. And I feel bad for XSET, unfortunately, but we can credit the fact that they are a team that has gone from strength to strength, really. The questionable decision of dropping Chronovi at the time in full, people were like, well, can you really do that? But they really have been improving over time. They had a great winter split to be proud of, and this spring split has certainly been no poor performance either. So while the series may not have gone to a game 5, I think it's certainly one they can be proud of. And like you say, still 1 series left today for them to put in a good performance.
Congratulations to Rogue, commiserations to XSET. When we come back, it's going to be time for G2 Esports versus Version 1 in Group B. Another team trying to make it from the bottom of the standings. Version 1, well, don't go anywhere. The North American Spring Split Major is going to continue straight after this.
Hello and welcome back to the Rocket League Championship Series Season X. You're watching the North American Major for the Spring Split, brought to you by Verizon. I'm Leaf, and alongside me is Gibbs. As usual, Shogun has come back, and now Johnny has joined the party here on the desk. Johnny, that was a fast one there. Almost all of the desk was wrong. We didn't think G2 could pull it out.
Well, I don't know why you guys were going phase on this one. Quite clearly, I mean, just look at phase. They were Illusion, LFT. That's really all that was going on here. But to be fair to him, I think AJ had a brilliant save in the very first game as well, which kept it tied briefly before it all went wrong. The own goal just was just such an unfortunate moment for FaZe. And this was a close series. The 3-0 it doesn't really do it justice. Unfortunately for them, they did have a little bit of trouble, I'd say, with Tilt in the last game. Gyro in particular just couldn't focus after the own goal, or not the own goal, the open net miss, I should say, to start off the game. And that's something they have to do. You have to be able to bounce back from that kind of thing, because it will keep happening. It doesn't matter how good you are at Rocket League. You're always going to miss a boost here or there. You're always going to hit the bar on an open net every now and again. You just got to, get on with it, move on to the next play.
It was a weird one, because usually we talk about Rocket League like it's a game of moments, but every single time a moment went wrong, it seemed to have a domino effect of, all right, we're going to see 2 or 3 more things happen outside of it. And a lot of the time it was just resulting in goals. So we don't usually get to see that. And if you're FaZe, that's a worrying trend, because if we saw it once, fine. Those sort of games happen. But they happen twice, that's a big worry.
That is for sure. But let's take a look at the groups, though, because FaZe doesn't really have to worry too much, do they, Gibbs?
Oh, version 1. I just want to talk about them real quick. They are now 0-3. That's why we had to wait a little bit before this segment, because version 1 and Energy were playing off stream. And guess what, guys? It went to another game 5. Version 1, they lost another game 5. So 0-3 with a -3 game differential. Their game differential is good if they do wind up winning one of these matches and maybe get a tiebreaker out of it. But for right now, because they're 0-3, G2 and FaZe have clinched to tomorrow. And then on the other side with Rebellion and Rogue, they've also clinched because Xset, they are sitting at 0-3.
Well, not good for version 1 at Xset, but great for those other two at the top of each of the groups that have clinched their way through. Let's keep it with Group B now, though. We got some more matches to get to. A reminder that you can hit that watch and squad mode to make sure you're not missing any Rocket League going on here. But up next, the Space Station Gaming versus NRG. This is a big battle here, but of course the big difference, Johnny, is that Reddles is not playing today and Sathu is in place.
Yeah, so just like FaZe and G2, the winner of this will also just be through to the next day and out of reach of version 1. The loser should V1 somehow beat G2. You know, the loser of this series, SSG versus NRG, will be vulnerable because the win-loss differential, I don't think it can be. It can be close to V1s, but it'll be tricky for sure. And NRG, they can't be losing this. You can't be losing to Space Station Gaming when they're playing with a sub. And it's no disrespect to Sathu. They've already come in today and taken a series over V1. I think that's a great result for them. If they can make it out of this group at all, well played Sathu, well played Space Station Gaming. As for NRG, though, they shouldn't be a team that are vulnerable. They shouldn't be a team that are in trouble in a roster.
You have one gimme, Energy, and that's like the first game of group stage, maybe a little bit cold coming out. So I can understand the loss to FaZe, but at this point, you just played version 1 that went to 5 games. You were properly warmed up. You're playing Space Station. When they are vulnerable, you have to take them out now. And Energy, they're #1 in NA for a reason. They need to show it here.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a proving point for NRG. Shogun, like, do you feel like there shouldn't be any worry here? But based off what we saw earlier today, they've not been looking the hottest.
So I can see why you use the word proving point, but at the same time, this is like catastrophe if they lose this. This is where you hit the panic button and say, how on earth is this team going to fare, if they get through to the playoffs tomorrow? Because then you start looking at the other teams that are getting through who are on a decent little hot streak. NRG have to win this, in my opinion, if they want to have any sort of confidence heading into tomorrow, heading into championships. Simple as that, really.
And they can win their group still. They play Space Station, then they play G2, which G2 right now is perfect on the day, but if Energy plays them and does well, they can easily win this group.
That's such a G2 result, isn't it? Just to smash everybody and just go, oh, by the way, we lost the last one.
Fair enough. Chat, we need to know, though, if NRG is going to be able to pull this one out, and you're going to tell us right now on the Verizon fan vote, hashtag NRG or hashtag SSG in the chat for the team you think is going to take this group stage match here. While you're doing that, let's get the analyst thoughts. We're going to start on the side of Gibbs this time for our predictions.
It's a must win, it feels like, for Energy. I'm not sure why. It's just more of like, you need morale to go into that final day to win this major. I got to go Energy. They have to win this 3-0, maybe 3-1 at worst.
Okay, Shogun, you're up next.
Look, this desk has not been doing great today when it comes to
predictions. You shut your mouth.
I feel really good about us all going the same way here, all getting it right, resetting ourselves. So I'm going to join Gibbs, NRG, Johnny, Leaf. You better join us and get this right, lads.
All right.
That's just a good plan, Shogun. It makes a lot of sense. But
no, Shogun's
don't you call me.
I'm only joking. Of course they're going NRG. Oh, Space Station was sub. Yeah, you can't possibly predict them to win this. They've already got their series win for the day. That's probably all they're gonna get. They just have to hope that G2 dispose of FaZe in rather a V1, I should say, in their last match, so that you can secure that #4 in the group, NRG to win.
Come on, Leaf. Come on.
Yeah, well, you don't have to egg me on.
I know. We need this to be right. All 4 be right. All right. We need to.
We all
our
said
reputation back.
We all said Energy would win versus FaZe 2, and that went horribly wrong. So you never know.
I'm also not stumpy here. I'm not gonna do some crazy stuff just to sorry. I have to go NRG. It'd be weird if I didn't. Because that way, if we're wrong, at least we're still holding hands and
we're wrong
going
together.
down with that sinking ship together, right? Like, it's a community effort.
You're not used to over in Europe.
We can blame NRG and not ourselves, is what you're saying.
We're doing this together, guys. Chat. The question is, do you think it's going to happen? They do. They do confidently.
Close or nice. That's
all five.
For an energy
five
vote,
Hollow
that's
entities are going to get this right. I love it.
Yeah, well, we'll find out. Get on Twitter at RLCS Esports, hashtag RLCS. You know what to do. We like to hear full thoughts on all these matches happening over the course of this last major here in North America. But let's head over to the Verizon Skybox now for our next match.
And Chiefs, I think Shogun put it very well. If NRG wants to have confidence going into tomorrow, this is a must-win series for him.
Absolutely agree. They really did kind of lay it all out on the table quite nicely. It is a vulnerable Space Station with Sathu. That being said, I still think Space Station isn't in too bad of a spot. I think you can really keep Sathu in that same role that Reddles was playing. To be fair, you sure will probably have a lessening of effectiveness, but still think Space Station's not a team you can take lightly. I think around 40% feels pretty okay, to be honest.
And especially with NRG, we've seen them struggling a bit. And you see double demo coming out from Garrett early on. Gonna put the boost advantage in favor of NRG. We'll see how well they can work it. Justin has Garrett in the middle. Garrett jumping early, rebound out to Squishy, and that will be blocked. The defense holding strong so far, but now a backboard bounce. Justin, it pings off everybody and somehow bounces out, but the attack is still coming.
Gotta be careful with your Space Station. Finally a chance to break out here with Arsenal, and that flick is just to buy time and make sure everybody behind him has time to come forward with the play. And Space Station fight off a good first thrust, but they might be on the back foot again here.
Oh, and you see Sathu wasn't able to stop the backboard bounce, but did get in the way of the shot. Arsenal taking it upfield, flip reset, didn't push it further. He's out of the play. Now the onus on Sathu again to get the stop. He'll be blocked out. Ball in the Space Station half. Shot towards net. Arsenal just landed, but still able to get the jump and get the save.
Such beautiful recovery from Arsenal on defense, and things to watch out for here against NRG are definitely going to be how well Sathu is playing on defense. Typical's a good third man when it comes to offense, but where you might see Sathu struggle is really going to be in holding off that pressure, and that's a great deflecting touch out in the corner, forcing NRG to play it from a more difficult position.
Yeah, Sathu playing the pass, and he jumped early. Sathu, like you said, achieves. There's going to be a lot of defensive moments that will hinge on his play. You can already see it. Sathu now down to Arsenal, and that's blocked out by Garrett. Typical to the corner. Justin has Squishy in the middle. The ball floating towards him, but Sathu will get the touch before being demolished.
Beautiful play again. Always getting that ball out to the safety of the corner, and here he's just got to buy some time and doesn't really handle it well, but NRG don't really have the resources behind them to really thrust here. Space Station, chance to clear if they win the challenge.
And it seems like Space Station is like a wounded older lion who's still able to fight off those young cubs. But man, NRG, they seem like they're about to take him down, and that one will bounce in. Typical being harassed on the goal line, and it was just too much pressure for Space Station to handle.
First blood for NRG, and what a touch from Justin. Like, just going straight up with that one, because they had that ball challenged pretty nicely. They were right out in front of it, ready to go, and he just got such a great hit straight up and followed it up nicely with a quality bump, and NRG took them 2 minutes, but they got there.
They certainly did. Ball spending lots of time in the Space Station half. Sathu already 4 saves. Demos in favor of NRG as well. And Reddles, when he's playing on Space Station, when they're doing well, he is that lead attacker. And he's getting a lot of demos, getting people out of position. And you're seeing Sathu much more defensive. Already 4 saves out of the 7 they have. And now that one off the crossbar and in. Arsenal with a huge shot.
What a finish from Arsenal. This is a beauty. I mean, just getting aggressive there in the midfield of Sathu, and that takes a real fortunate skip off that corner, and not to mention, that ball's straight in. I think NRG might have pulled it out. That crossbar bounce, tipping it down, helped Arsenal out.
Not only that achieves, but the skip off the corner was so hard.
So good.
It was just crazy. You can't really rely on those touches. But Space Station, they're happy to get back in this one, regardless of how it comes. Aaron's going to put this off the backboard. Sypical, well handled. You see him getting the stop, keeping the ball close, and now getting the bump on Justin. Possession back for Space Station.
You know, I'm sad to see that get squandered so quickly because Arsenal does the right thing. His teammate makes the play, like you said, handling it nicely on the backboard, gives Arsenal the space, and then you just hit the ball and have to go fight for possession. Ugh, it's irritating.
And this has been a fight for possession for Space Station. NRG playing with chip on their shoulder, losing to FaZe earlier today, going the distance against version 1. Certainly not top form NRG, many people would say, and I would agree. Miss there from Squishy at midfield. Sathu will put it down the line, but you see him giving up the ball. The fake from Justin, the pass attempt. You saw Squishy waiting there. Justin getting that ball dunked off his hood.
And Arsenal consistently, he's been a little bit hampered recently. He's been fairly boost starved for the last minute or so. So SSG kind of playing with a lame duck at the moment. Finally, he's got some boost and quality touch out to the midfield, and he's going to make sure to hold on to extra boost as well to try and keep NRG a bit more of a respectful distance past Arsenal. Back post saved by Justin. Garrett G to clear. Final chance may belong to NRG.
Gonna have to watch out though. Justin trying to keep this ball airborne. No, he won't be able to, and we've got overtime. And it has not been NRG's day for overtime. Out of the 5 times they've gone to overtime, Achieves, they've only won 1 game.
Well, they might have a chance here. Justin trying to jump one in. Garrett G's not able to get all the way around it. And a poor day in OT. It's not going to do them any favors here, missing an early chance like that.
Justin, tip back, typical high pop. Arsenal, flip reset. Couldn't get underneath it for the scoop. The ball in NRG's hands. Justin with Garrett. Oh, man. Pop it high. Justin going to stay with it. Typical shutting that down.
Ooh, second chance for Justin. Caught flipping out. Didn't really believe it was coming back past to Squishy, and he just airballed it. That's a tough one. To be fair, he might have been a little low on booster. Didn't have enough recovery time. And NRG, they're pressing. They've got a huge shot advantage in this game. They're at 9 to Space Station's 4, which would make sense if you've been watching all 6 minutes. As Justin Squishy gonna cut this one down off the back wall, and they will get their second OT win on the day.
Wow. Ooh. Squishy using up every single bit of boost, but the thing I love about this shot is he's going and then he uses back. He just presses back, does a backflip, and touches that down. He is so in control in that moment, and that was the exact movement that was required in that situation. Squishy, that really bringing you back when you've seen it. You knew the Squishy ceiling shot back at the World Championship where he was so in control of his car, moving in a way that the defense did not expect, doing it again there to get the angle on the shot down. That was a world-class shot by Squishy.
It really does separate the good double tappers from the great double tappers, is understanding when you have to let that ball bounce back to you and managing your speed on that approach. That is always the hardest part. Trajectory you can correct most of the time, but the timing is always so tight, and Squishy executing to perfection there in OT.
Yeah, not much space to work with. I think the defense was even expecting a backboard pass there. Squishy, though, going right for net. And even before that on the setup, you saw he got the tip up to even set up the second hit off the backboard, and he had to jump very quickly. So Squishy, fantastic mechanics there. You can't really criticize him for that. There's been some criticisms from Squishy. You've been paying attention to what the community says, what Twitch chat will say, but Squishy seems to shut up those haters time and time again. And that play was a huge one. NRG, especially when they've been struggling so much today in overtime. Squishy, big time goal.
To be fair, though, long way to go. I mean, when you outshoot your opponents 10 or 12 to 5 or so, and you're just winning by 1 goal in OT, you either need to see NRG step it up on offense, because if Space Station start equalizing the possession, NRG might be in trouble, as Arsenal not able to get a clean look at the net here, and will be nicely defended by NRG.
And you had mentioned 4 shots last game Oh, and we see one from Sathu. Sathu. And where was the defense? I think Justin might have been waiting. Yeah, he went for a corner boost.
Oh, the worst time, too. As Sipical's taking that up the ceiling, I mean, sure, it doesn't look like Sipical's got an angle towards net, but kind of an odd time to go for boost there from Justin. Not really sure why it felt like as the ball's getting touched towards the center, now's the time to abandon your post.
Perhaps not expecting that, just the pinball of the ball off the ceiling.
Perhaps.
Going right down. Justin now, chance to make amends. Get a piece of it. Squishy towards net, and a save from Sathu off the post. That had some pace.
How did that go off? Sathu basically hit that towards the inside of the post, and it just squeezed between him and the post and just bounced right out? Are you joking? Garrett G. flip reset, can't squeeze it home. Justin trying to keep it in the play, and Squishy in charge of buying time, but Sathu again, another big defensive showcase.
He's making it happen. That one, about as close as it gets, Chiefs. I don't think you really want to be in that situation because you're millimeters away from an own goal.
You'll take what you can get, though, and that's been Space Station all day, I think. Take what you can get because you are kind of playing, not at a handicap, but
certainly not at full strength.
Yes.
And that's no disrespect to Sathu. That's just testimony to how good Reynolds is. And that one will sneak off the post and roll in. Garrett G keeping the attack going. Another quality goal for NRG.
Yeah, Arsenal, I think, not really doing anything wrong there. He was trying to let that ball pop off his car relatively softly so he could trap it and then force the ball out on a dribble and make a challenge happen. It kind of just kicked off his car a little bit harder than I think he was expecting, and the follow-through on the dismount from the backboard just didn't quite come through. It's Justin trying to get triple demo in an easy net, but no dice.
Got two, though. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. And you're seeing more demos coming out from NRG. We saw this in game 1 as well, and it's just continuing to flow.
That's 4 in a minute. Can he score that?
So much boost being used up in a team bump. Squishy will still fit with it. Flip reset ball. And that will be saved by Sipical. Team bump into an almost beautiful goal.
Sipical really got caught out there by Squishy actually being able to recover. I think he thought he was going to have a pretty uncontested push towards the ball there. Little back pass, but stolen away by Garrett G. Not enough pace behind it, and Arsenal caught trying to force himself into the boost and into position, and still somehow Space Station able to muscle that ball off the goal line.
Awkward ball for Sathu. He had to jump straight up, but he did make the play. It was a double commit, and we're seeing the stress there. It's like Space Station is a dam, and they're holding back the rapids. But it's starting to crack, and you can see NRG about to overflow. The attack's oncoming. Garrett.
Oh, wow, aggressive.
Very aggressive. Now that could be a chance for Space Station. Sathu going to look to get this ball into the middle. Rolls back to the corner. Now Sipical towards net. Squishy got back and covered the angle, and now he'll have a 1v1 situation. Taps it out, misses the shot. But you saw what he was going for.
Yeah, it was that quick recovery with the wheels, and he wanted that tight wave dash back around the ball. Just mistimed it. Thankfully, his teammates are going to pick him up. Justin Garrett G will convert a second goal here.
See Sathu up very early off the ceiling pass. Justin keen to use the ceiling. We've seen him score before. Just tap it off the ceiling, bump the goalie that time. Getting the feed to Garrett. And now we see Squishy not moving, some latency issues. I have the scoreboard up. It looked like he had some ping problems. So we'll have a pause coming out as we get that resolved. About a minute left. NRG still with a 1-goal game. And we'll wait to hear from the admins what the exact ruling is. But it seems like that goal would stand. The problem coming on kickoff. So NRG achieves. You saw Space Station valiantly keeping NRG at bay, having some small windows for counterattacks. But this has been such a possession game for NRG, and they're not letting up.
Yeah, it's kind of the repeat of game one, really. NRG all over the backboard and around in the corners and getting a lot of good challenges on the ball and keeping possession. Not necessarily always able to have clean looks, but opportunities. And that's really what NRG is capitalizing here on. It's just Space Station not quite having that same level of control on the defensive side. They're able to, like you said, hold back the tide, but it's tough, and they're really needing to find some type of way to get that transition game going, force NRG off the back foot, and those demos from NRG certainly are not helping. It was like 4 demos inside of 30 seconds or something, and those throw big holes out in the rotation and force you to play a lot more passively.
Well, you know, at Chiefs, we see NRG play. We know that they have a dynamic offense. They're a team that can find ways to win, and we've seen them win with the scalpel. But today it looks like they're using a hammer. Yeah. Yeah, it's the no frills NRG here. Not much need for finesse. Just go fast and see if you can make it happen. And so far it's working. And to be honest, if the hammer's getting the job done, you know, don't go get a different tool. Yeah, it's the tool for the job today. And I think it's the right call, even strategically. If you have someone who's coming in like Sathu, who's the sub quality player, previous pro, you know, has LAN experience, but, you know, been out of the pro scene for a little bit, at least playing teams of the caliber of NRG. Just go for those fast plays. Keep hammering it off the backboard. Keep going for the demos, and then you find your moment where you just overwhelm them, and that has worked so far for NRG.
Yeah, it's all about forcing that high-stress situation on defense. Even if every approach you have isn't going to result in a shot on target, it's just that continuation of building of that pressure. And eventually, you know, someone on Space Station, even if it's not Sathu, it could just easily be Sypical and Arsenal thinking that someone can't get to it as they're rotating around trying to hold on to boost. So yeah, it's really just throw it all at them and make them do the work that needs to get done if they want to get out.
They're running out of time to do it. Down by 1. Arsenal off the corner. Sypical, good speed. Backboard bounce. Can he get the ball? No, he can't get the shot. But it's over to Sathu. Sathu, backboard pass. Arsenal jumping straight up will miss.
Oh, no.
And Garrett is going to clear it down. You saw Space Station. They had the moment where Sypical won that ball at the midfield, and you thought maybe they could convert, but it was just out of reach.
Yeah, definitely a tough double tap from Sypical. Full speed like that, right towards the backboard. Really no room for error on your approach. If your trajectory is even slightly off, I mean, you just won't have the space required to fix to make the adjustment. Unfortunately, not able to find one there. NRG again, 2-1, and even there at 0 seconds, Arsenal pulling off that ball and letting Sypical trap it. That was a great play. It was just they didn't have the command there to catch it cleanly.
And it was out of necessity as well, because Arsenal, he was cheating up quite a bit in those final seconds, and the bounce was too high for him. He wouldn't have been able to do much other than tip it. So
out to the midfield or something where you just have to
he's
reset.
just gotta leave it, because Sypical, there's a better chance he's going to score. But if Arsenal's playing a little bit further back, that backboard pass was so hard. It was hit so hard. But if he's playing a little bit more back, he might have had an opportunity to either go for net or go for the backboard for Sypical to clean up. So even though NRG got the win, they were vulnerable in those last moments.
And so we arrive at our third segment of 5 minutes in Space Station Gaming. It's like we said, you gotta find some way to get out of your own half. It has been way too much playing defense here in this series for them if they want to take down NRG. And so far, an okay start. And Sypical kind of just forced into giving ground because he didn't have the space to turn and challenge. But those are the touches you want. Those nice long air dribbles where you're able to force NRG to come and take the ball from you.
Yeah. NRG, we've seen them caught back a few times on defense in awkward positions. It's another awkward ball. You see Justin had to jump for that without full boost, but Sathu flew right by it. Squishy. The second touch, Justin to the corner, looking for another hit. And you see him going for the control. Even I was expecting an infield pass right away.
Oh, beautiful. Too close, though. Space Station Gaming doing a much better job here in Game 3 of at least, you know, keeping pace of play, going back and forth across both sides here. But still, when it gets down into that corner, that's where you get a little scared for them. so far so good.
Even though NRG has had a lot of the possession, you just think back to the passing plays. We haven't really seen much of it from NRG. It's been mostly those brute force plays.
Yeah.
And you see two demos come out. Infield pass to Justin. He'll play it off the side. NRG, I think they're going to be happy with the results so far, especially if they can close it out in a sweep. But this is not the beautiful offense that we've seen them bring out at times.
True, but like we said, Hammer's getting the job done. Just keep smacking those double taps towards the corners off the backboard, and you know, it really does put Space Station in kind of an awkward position, because it's actually incredibly tough to handle, you know, strong touches towards the walls back to yourself, or looking for passes, because it's tough to take the pace off the ball and keep it tight, which could be inhibiting Space Station's ability to trap the ball and force a cleaner transition game.
And the transition game, that is where Space Station is going to have to figure it out. And we know they can do it, especially when you've got Arsenal waiting up there at midfield, whether he's going to catch it, go for the dribble, go for the fakes. He's got all the tools in his toolkit to make it happen for Space Station, but they need that help right now. Typical downfield, get the 50, it's bouncing down. Sathu beat by Garrett, who got the pass over to Squishy, who sends it in for Justin, and a hard shot down Main Street is going to claim the lead for NRG.
Well, it's a beautiful challenge from Garrett G, and look at him instantly kind of force Arsenal to give a little bit of ground there in the midfield. If Garrett G wasn't there, Arsenal could go and cut that pass down, but he forced the adjustment on the rotation, gives a little bit of a lane, and they nail it.
And I don't mean to pick on Sathu, but that challenge at the midfield, that's where Space Station got put in a very bad spot. Garrett won it very well out to, super clean, out to Squishy, and that allowed NRG to set up the passing play. So we start to see him using the scalpel a bit more, and Sathu has a chance to redeem himself.
Just a
skip line.
Spot. Bold choice there from Garrett G. Always love the jump back from the midfield and just kiss it off the wheels back out towards the midfield line. It's dangerous play, but very effective when you nail it.
And all it's going to take is one effective play for Space Station to get back into this one. Squishy off the ceiling. Garrett towards net. Typical doesn't have the boost. And Garrett will punch another one in.
Oh, especially when he's so far back. To be honest, looking at his rotation line, he's just confused that boost isn't there. He actually cycled back around and was just like, well, is my timing off a little bit or something? No,
he said,
it wasn't there.
Coming up soon. It's been forever.
It's not even really a mental lapse from Cypical. It's just didn't know when that boost got taken at some point, and generally all of these guys have a pretty good mental sense of when stuff should spawn roughly, and that's what happens when they're off.
And sometimes you're in those situations where you think, can I even save this if I don't get full boost?
Yeah, it was a strong
because he was running on empty, and so it looked like if he had gone back immediately, maybe those small pads would have been enough.
Yeah,
but you don't. You just got to make that split-second decision. You don't get a second chance in this one. So see if Space Station can bring it back. Time running out.
Playing keep away.
Arsenal infield pass, and that's going to get cleared out. Squishy killing so much time into Garrett. One more for the road. NRG dominate this final game of the series.
Look at this pass from Squishy. Oh boy, I mean, that's pretty gross considering that the guy coming to challenge him had the angle towards the net cut off and pretty much a pass that wasn't that direct. That's quite a finish from Squishy to Garrett to put the finishing touches on.
Yeah, it looked like Squishy greased his sunroof.
Yeah.
Thing came out fast. And NRG, they get the win, and it's a sweep over Space Station, who was hurting. They didn't have Reddles, but Sathu came in, played his best, and he did a respectable job. But when you're playing against a team like NRG, it's going to be a tall order to take him down, and NRG getting the clean win.
And we said that they needed a nice, strong, convincing win if they want to have confidence, especially considering how the day started for them with that loss. So bounce back, beat his a limping space station, and they really did come out and make sure to break it cleanly right there. So well done, NRG, well-deserved win, and we'll see what you can do.
Yeah, it was the right strategy. NRG, they proved that out there on the field. We're going to go to a quick break, and when we come back, more RLCSX.
Verizon knows how to build unlimited right. Start with America's most awarded network.
I'm on my phone 24/7.
Then, for the first time ever, give families more entertainment with Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus, now all included.
We're a big soccer family. Handmaid's Tale. I love Frozen.
Then give families plans to mix and match, so you only pay for what you need.
You get so much more than this, a great network.
With plans starting at just $35, the network more people rely on gives you more. This is unlimited built right, only on Verizon.
Cleared as Turinturo careens around, and a very obtuse Doomsy almost comes out. And is Turbo gonna again put it off the backboard? Anyone there for Envy? No. And now we need to see Rogue maintain possession. Here comes Turo all the way down. Taroko once more.
We're fighting a war out here. You sure you're up for it?
We have to look out for each other. It's all we got.
Wall now cannot play the ball.
First Killer was in a great position just to leave off on the play and move back to midfield. Instead, lets that aggressiveness come through. Reads it, gets there in time, makes it 2-0. Different situation, same scoreline. But with a little time left on the clock, we got a minute 50 to go. Envy can certainly bring it back, but this game has been much quicker than Game 3. Will we go to Champions Field? Everyone colliding on the line, and that one just ricochets around to no man's land before Turbo reels it in.
You go to Champions Field, Turbo wins, right?
The math would suggest.
I think that's how that works here.
Yeah.
We'll see if Rogue can break that trend line. Missed. Able to get a hold of it at the last second, and Turbo sneaks it around Taroko. Looking to try and end this one here. Get back in this series. Now only down one. Mist able to recover off of that mistouch and get it around Turo.
You can feel it's not going to end here. We are not going to end 2-1. We might be going to Champions Field, but with that demo and that play, oh, Atomic did it to him! That is the worst possible way to lose the lead. And off the kickoff, Envy once more just punish Rogue.
Just enough power. You can see him power slide for just a brief moment there to maintain that momentum and get that diagonal flip to kind of swing it back over in that direction and immediately tie it up. 2-2 now. They want to get this one done. Turbo, yeah, he likes winning on Champions Field, but he also likes just getting the job done quicker. Atomic now can't get through Turinturo, and it'll force Turbo to take possession to the midfield for Mist. Backboard, double touch, it's there!
Speechless. Unreal. Execution, precision. 58 seconds, and Envy have grabbed the lead and are on the brink of shutting down Rogue in a 3-1 series win. Atomic, can he make it 4-3? Excuse me, 4-2. For Rogue now, you need to move the ball out to midfield. You need to find a way to let First Killer breathe upfield. Turo trying to find his teammate, but Taroko demoed, and now it's a power play for Envy as they clear it to the corner.
Mist looking for it. Backboard, that'll be up. And back downfield it goes. Taroko trying to use that flip reset. First Killer opens up space. Turo need this now. This is the moment. They need to attack. They've got to find it here, Space.
Yep.
And it's back down in their field. This is back in their end. This is not where they want the ball.
Rogue need to play 30-second offense. They need to get aggressive. First killer. Looking for some demos and bumps, but Turanchar goes up for the challenge. 9 seconds to go. Can Rogue keep it up, or do Envy win? There comes the pass down. No one from Rogue around the challenge. Here comes Taroko with the shot, and the save. Envy kill it, and Envy take the series 3-1.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Rocket League Championship Series Season X North American Spring Split Major, brought to you by Verizon. I am Leaf, and alongside me here is Gibbs, Jorby, and Turtle, now joining us on the desk to talk about what we just saw there. You know, Turt, we're all saying NRG has to win this one.
Yeah.
And they've gone and done it in the fashion we wanted them to.
Yeah, the predictions, the curse on the desk has now been lifted because everybody went NRG. And I thought this was a very strategic gameplay from NRG. You could see them going for more demos and focusing on keeping pressure. That's all they needed to do, because eventually those mistakes would come out. And you could tell SSG, they didn't know how to hold up against that pressure with Sathu, the new sub in. He played great, but I don't think it was enough. And Squishy, my goodness, he definitely proved the haters wrong in this one.
Jorby, I figured you'd have something to say at this point. You usually
Turtle, you know, he wrapped it all up, man. I mean,
Okay.
NRG, they played a clinical set. Like Space Station, they, like Turtle said, they couldn't really handle the pressure, and they had a lot of troubles generating a lot of offense. While Sathu might not have played poorly, they definitely didn't have that same potent offense as usual.
That is for sure. Let's take a look now, though, at the group, see where we're getting to, because Gibbs, things are wrapped up.
We're getting there. Yeah, version 1. So they decided they had a long season, and they decided, you know what? Let's just play 3 games.
That's right.
So G2 got the sweep. They are perfect on the day, which guarantees them first place in this group, no matter what happens from here on out. So hats off to them. That also means version 1 is out at 0-4, which is great for Space Station, because the one thing they wanted was just to survive through today, and they have done so. They will play tomorrow. So we know the top 4 in Group B. We just don't know the order just yet, outside of G2 and number 1. And then in Group A, we just saw Team Envy with 2 goals down. They come back and win versus Rogue to clean up of that series. And that's anyone's race for Group A for that first place. And we're about to have a really good game with Rebellion versus Rogue.
That is true. Let's start breaking this one down, because coming up next here on the mainstream, Twitch.tv/Rocket League, we got Rogue versus Rebellion. Remember, click that watch in squad mode button to watch all the other games going on here. But Jorby, this is a big one, I think, for both teams. A real good, obviously all teams trying to prove or say, hey, we're the best. But these 2 teams have been those 2 teams of late that have been rising and continuing to punch at that top.
Yeah, and you know, for a while, Rogue have owned this matchup against Rebellion. It hasn't been pretty 4-1 Rogue are in the last 5 matchups, including Grid, but Rebellion looked pretty good today. Like Beast Mode and Rapid are clicking, and that scares me, because when they're feeling it, they can be as hot as any team in North America. Now, the key difference for me, though, is Rogue, who typically fall pretty short on group stage days, are playing really well today. They haven't dropped like you may have expected them to, like they have in previous regionals. And so I think this is shaping up to actually be a really quality match.
That is for sure. But chat, I need to know what you're thinking about this one, because it's, again, should be close here, especially what we've seen from Rebellion as of late here. It's time for the Verizon fan vote. Hashtags in the chat. I want to know what you're picking out there. And if they're not typed in there, it doesn't get counted. So get them in there. Let's talk to the analysts now. Let's find out what they're thinking here before the match gets started up. I'm going to start in the middle seat this time, and that means Jorby gets to go first on this one. So who you got winning this one?
Ooh. You know what? I'm going to go Rebellion. I really like what I'm seeing from Beast Mode today, and I have a feeling that the rest of you guys aren't going to agree with me. So I'm going to take Rebellion. I think they're looking good. I'm going to ride the momentum wave.
Yeah, they're 3-0, and even if they lose this in Game 5, they clinch number 1 in this group. But I think Rogue's going to make it interesting, take the win 3-1, and we'll get into some tiebreaker stuff. Because why not? For the last tournament of the year,
why not, right?
Turtle, you can join me. You can join me, Turtle. You can join me now. You don't, like, this is the crux point, right? Like, it could go either way, but
I'm gonna have to say
you're
no.
with me.
No. I'm not with you.
You are. Oh.
I can't do it.
You sound like a
I can't do
Sith
it.
trying to convert.
You got to understand, I'm not going to go to the dark side. I'm going to stay with Rogue, because you just got to get in front of Rapid. The man is cherry picking. You stay in the corners. You get in front of Rapid. It's over. Rogue take the win. Get in front of Rapid. It's that easy.
Okay. This makes it hard, because I don't like a sad Jorby. I don't like to see that face. But I mean, I might have to kick him in the face while he's down. I'm going to go with it. I'm going with Rogue.
Yes.
I'm going with Rogue.
Yes.
I'm taking this one.
I'm not getting you
at this point. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a fun match. But I do think Rogue is going to take this one. Chat is uncertain. Down the line right now, if you really want to make your voice heard, though, get on Twitter at RLCS, hashtag RLCS. We'll be heading over to the Verizon Skybox in just a moment, but not before we sit down and listen to some words from memory.
The transition from KCP to the Shopify Rebellion happened at the start of Regional 3, and so far it's been great. Really love being with them. They've done a lot for us, even though we've only been there for a month or so. I'm really excited for the content we're going to be pushing out with them in the future. Happy to be here.
Vega control on the back 40. What a touch tagging!
I think there's a lot of pressure being, just outside of the top 6. It makes every game we play like just that much more important, but it's a good problem to have because it gives you the motivation to, keep grinding, keep practicing, and keep wanting to get better.
They're gonna get punished for it. Memory's able to cover up the defenders and put in the game-winning goal.
We've had the whole year-long season that kind of comes down to one major, and your success in that major determines your success for the whole season. So, I mean, it is a lot of fun, but it's also a lot of work, especially right now, compared to other times. We think we deserve to be in the top 6, and we think we've shown that time and time again, but we've also shown inconsistency, and that's our main focus right now, is to make sure that we can perform.
Jams through one beast mode. This touch, you're kidding me. How does he put this under the crossbar?
I mean, the little break we had from after the regional for the major was great, but we're really excited to get back into it now and show people what we can do.
Lead any team has enjoyed. Let's make it 3 off the kickoff. Memory puts them in the gutter. Oh man, they are running away with this game. We're not even a minute. Shopify Rebellion here, looking to take on Rogue, and Memory feeling pretty confident about their chances here, Corelli.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what you heard in the pre-show, or on the desk rather, they didn't have a lot of faith. Obviously, the stats kind of go against Shopify Rebellion here, but the good news is it is group stage, and I think Jorby actually made a great point about Rogue, is that their group stages have been okay. Regional 1 here in the spring split went 2-2, Regional 2 went 2-2, and Regional 3 they went 3-1, all respectively in their groups. So Rogue hasn't been the strongest in the groups, and when Rebellion have this much to play for, they have a good shot here in this series.
Yeah, it feels like Rogue's best time is the time when, if you had to pick a spot of a tournament to be good, it's Sunday, Championship Sunday. That's when they have popped off in these events. But usually, it's if they make it through the group stage, they have a really good chance of taking on the tournament. So an important step for them here. Currently, both these teams sitting at 2-0, looking to be on top of their group after this match at 3-0, with it basically guaranteed. So would love to take that top seed out of Group A.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I think that both these teams want to prove themselves, obviously, because Shopify Rebellion have to play against going up against FaZe and what they have for their points, but also Rogue. I mean, I don't know if they've had the best run so far here in this regional, and like they just lost to Envy, which of course it's Envy, but I think that they wanted to come down here and be at the top of their group. But again, groups have never been strong for Rogue. So it really is a question. I mean, if you were to ask me, okay, who's going to win this one? The question is, what type of Rogue are we getting here today? And are we going to get the same Rebellion that we saw earlier in the day? Because I actually thought Rebellion looked really strong. I know the desk mentioned the other two players, but no one mentioned Memory, and I feel like he has done a great job today at being a little bit more aggressive, which leads to a lot more offensive tries for Rebellion.
Absolutely. 100% true here. And also, thank you for completely correcting my erroneous statement. Rogue is 2-1. They did just lose to Envy. I needed to hit refresh on my stats page there. Shopify Rebellion sitting on top of their group, trying to be 4-0 come out of the group, and definitely a surprise there. So we'll see how things go as we're about to get into game number 1, a best of 5 to improve your standings in Group A here. We got Rogue in the blue, Shopify Rebellion in the orange. Game number 1 on Manfield.
And one thing that I think plagued Rebellion, if I were to criticize anything that they had in the last few games, and where they had some few open shots they couldn't put away, and some guineas, it had to be too tough. It had to be hard for Rebellion for them to score. The easy shots they couldn't put away, and they could have driven up the score a lot higher in some of those games. And you might not get that type of space or second attempt against a team like Rogue.
We've seen a few key players in hot moments miss easy shots today. It's been going around North America, but consistency, the most difficult part of Rocket League. Here's Memory through the sky, and first kill over the clear off the backboard. And Turinturo chasing into the corner. Taroko now looking for first killer on the top. Passes out to Turinturo. What a play onto the backboard. Rapid hits his brakes and gets it back to the corner. An excellent stop on what was well set up. Definitely a Rogue shot to miss. Rapid plays across midfield line. First killer into the corner, and Taroko will chase
pick it up and reverse the direction of rotation. But Memory's right there, gets a demolition onto Taroko. Rapid does in the corner. Now Beast Mode trying to stall things out here, getting challenged by First Killer. The ball will go off to the edge. And now Rapid out of his corner, finds the long clear, looking for Memory in the midfield.
You want to see Rebellion set up Memory. I love seeing that through the midfield, and they had their opportunity. Beast Mode especially doing a good job of slowing down the midfield, but as the demo comes out from First Killer, it's an open shot for Taroko, and Rogue up by 1.
All 3 players very committed there. Their third man aggressive and having to reverse back to drive into his own half to block this shot, even if he didn't get demolished. So just a little bit of pushing forward, and then the demolition absolutely securing things.
And that's great work from Rogue, especially since Rebellion, like you said, were pushed up pretty high. To take out that player, take him out of the rotation, and there's a massive gap there, obviously, with Taroko having the open net. So Rebellion do have to be careful of that, to not just leave it all up to one man and everything kind of lies with him getting that touch. Otherwise, Rogue will take advantage, and here's another opportunity. Memory, good half flip to get back to him.
Rapid now getting the ball to Beast Mode in the midfield, and the 1v1 against First Killer, who's backwards, leaves the ball, and First Killer flips it away, but Memory closes on it. First Killer gets back to the ball again. And Rapid will be the third man to try and take this one off of Taroko's hood, but Taroko plays it to the wall, and Turo will extend it to the midfield spot. Now Rapid, we're just kind of looking for the reset, finds it onto the backboard, but First Killer will get it off to the corner. We'll see no goals for Shopify Rebellion just yet.
Rapid's one of those players. He's always good for one flip reset. Seems like if he has the time and space, he always gets it. And here they come again. Memory doesn't have enough boost to get back to it, and that'll put an end quickly to that attack.
Taroko getting to pass Rapid. Here's First Killer in the midfield. Beast Mode on the backboard. We'll flip it off of him. The outside wall. Turo versus Memory. Goes neutral. Back in front of the box. Beast Mode to the outside. And Beast Mode now to Memory into the corner. Can Rapid advance? He wants to. And now the ball over his hood. Taroko's trying to push the issue here. Went for the fake. Went for the bumps. Finds some action, but we'll see a Rapid pick up control. Now dribbling First Killer. Gets it past the ball. What a close. Taroko slams the door at the last moment. It's back to Turo in the midfield.
First Killer getting bailed out by his teammates there. Getting faked pretty hard by Rapid. That's great work, but here comes Rogue. They want to put on the attack quickly here. Rebellion will push him away.
Rapid into the corner, Turo has to flip it away. Taroko finally gets back. Taroko got really hung up on the post in enemy territory and made his rotation slow, but gets back just in time to make the stop again. Keep their lead at 1, but the pressure continues as Rebellion are knocking on the door.
I really like seeing what Rebellion's doing on offense. It's great rotation. All 3 players on the attack, and Beast Mode is the one staying back a lot more here right now. And I think it's paid off. You're seeing a lot more attempts for them as Rogue, they've put up their 5th shot there, but unable to keep possession.
Taroko, Memory gets it through him, and second dunk, no. First Killer will get it to the side and neutralize the play. Now Memory looking for the back pass to Beast Mode. He'll close on this, but Turo gets it over his hood. Here's Turo, the First Killer. What a touch! It's behind Turo, hits his brakes, drop. Memory gets the block. What a stop! Rapid and Beast Mode now trying to push out of their corner with 1 minute left. They've kept the lead at 1. Critical stop there to give them a chance here in the final minute.
The goal line defense might pay off for Rebellion. Memory shots too high. Rogue scrambling to get it away, and good work from First Killer. There's another demo. First Killer might go all the way. Memory gets back. My goodness, the defense.
Both sides finding the defensive stops. Now First Killer off the ceiling. He's got the flip reset, uses it over 1, but can't maintain control. Beast Mode happy to pick up the ball, find Memory on the outside wall. They try to find Rapid on the other side, but the touch from Memory too weak. Drops into the Rogue corner. 20 seconds left. Off the backboard, looking for the tap. Just barely misses, too high above the crossbar. And now Turo in the midfield up against Beast Mode. He'll get it past 2 of them, and Memory will close on the ball quickly. Through the sky now. He's got Rapid in the box, looking for bumps. 9 seconds left. Beast Mode in the air to Rapid, looking for the 0-second goal. It's onto the backboard, and Turo will clear the edge. Gonna be a much more difficult play now as Memory can't get it off the ground. Rogue will take game 1.
Rogue, the demo play is the difference here in this game for them, and they come out with just a 1-goal lead and hang on, and they had to field a lot of shots. Look at the saves for Rogue. 6 of them here in this game. Rebellion were all over them in multiple attacks, and for Rogue, really relying on that counterattack, which certainly paid off. First Killer by himself looked phenomenal rotating out from his own end, and Rebellion got caught a few times. They scrambled on their defensive line in those counterattacks, but the offense from Rebellion looks good. Now, the crucial part, converting on these chances in this game's vastly different than the 1-0 for Rogue.
Absolutely. I'm hoping we get to see that defensive stop here in the replay package. This one, I think, yeah, first kill off the wall. Turntro hits his brakes and Memory perfectly gets in the way. Rapid keeps his wits about him as well to block the shots. Two super just dump truck, just push it into the goal shots there for Rogue that were perfectly defended by the Rebellion. Memory flying across the goal. It's so easy to still pinch it into your own goal, to own goal in some way there. What a stop from him.
Yeah, a huge defensive stops. And really, both sides had that. Rogue also felt that on their side as well. Rebellion just had so many shots. But again, I think it's good from Rogue, especially from First Killer here on both sides of the field, getting the job done. If it's a one-goal game, that demolition is the biggest difference maker between these two games. We're in for a good series.
Yeah, this is going to be a close one. Into game number 2. Beast mode puts the ball high. Here's Taroko to first kill on the outside. He's got a bit of space to work with. Keeps it in the sky. He's got enough boost too. Gets a dunk, but the ball will go to the corner on the resultant math. And now Beast mode with a flip in the midfield. Gets it past 1. Turntro looking for the bump on Rapid. Rapid will get to the ball first. Now First Killer with the ball loose. Under the backboard Memory will clear it away. Taroko getting harassed by Beast Mode as he moves on to offense. And this ball dropping nice for Memory. Gets under Taroko, but it will pinch the outside. Rapid now looking for the Cookster pinch off the wall. Gets it into the corner. First Killer will counter it away. We've seen it back and forth into the box, but First Killer will now get this one out with some help from a teammate. And they'll breathe for just a second.
Get a little scary on the Rogue side. Yeah. Kind of curious to see that one dropping, but still Rebellion putting on this pressure. That rotation has just been so crispy clean from them. That's a great challenge, though, from First Killer all the way back to the other side.
Beast mode with lots of time. Now to the sky. He's got 2 challengers up. He's got a double commit out of him, but Taroko's got to play clean. Rapid now in the corner. He's got it high, and Taroko will get the block. It's out to Turo, who stalls out Memory's advance, but now he's got it to the corner. He's got it. They just didn't expect it. Everyone was like, okay, cool. Where's the boost? Nope, Memory's putting a goal in your goal.
And I'm curious to see, First Killer got touched and pushed away just ever so slightly on the side of his car. And that's what made him not able to get up to it. That's what happened to Rogue. I was wondering why nobody challenged. It's because First Killer got bumped out of the way. And that's great work from Rebellion, even off the ball. Good rotations through that defense to make sure that they're thrown off, or at least have to acknowledge that a player from the offense is coming after them. And a wide open, really a wide open shot for Memory in the end.
Yeah, no, the great bump to open up the space. Woo, Turntro with a stop on the corner. Beast mode to the outside. Here's Turntro looking for Taroko, and he'll manage to win the challenge before being demolished. Turntro now above. This one's dangerous. Here's First Killer. First Killer with a whip in the midfield. Maybe the tactical miss to get Rapid off the ball. It's Taroko out of the corner with Turntro. He's got to play this across the top of his own goal. Rapid's going to challenge him off the ceiling, and what a dunk. This aerial challenge won by Turntro. Now Beast mode. Cross into Rapid. No. Intercepted by Taroko. Out to First Killer onto the backboard, but a bump on the third man will stall out this play, despite the backboard defense meant it probably wasn't going to matter anyways. But clean reassurance and redundancies built into the defensive rotations of Shopify Rebellion.
Yeah, and that's something that we mentioned in the first game, Wave, was that they need, like you said, kind of the redundancy to have someone cover the same line every once in a while, just in case Rogue go for those demos or poke the ball free on his own like First Killer has a few times. And you're seeing them have a little bit more of a grasp on offense now. First Killer staying involved and getting a good bump, but again, that Rebellion defense holding strong for now.
The Rebellion defense, it was one demolition. That was the difference between game number 1 being in overtime right now and us being in game 2. And here, that same near perfect consistency. At this moment, perfect. First Killer looks for a bump. The pass out. Oh, Turntro comes in. Here's the ball. Taroko got bumped. First Killer tries in the corner, but all he can do is just keep it on offense. Here's Taroko. Oh, and he'll finally go through. The pass plays come out. Turntro connects with them, and they'll finally tie it up.
It's a shame that Taroko got bumped, because I wanted to see how First Killer got that pass across, but still redemption after being bumped out of the way. Great finesse touch to the far post from Taroko. Not immediately taking the shot with the oncoming defender.